So you
Hello everyone, and welcome to another Sovereign Citizen Watch. How's everyone doing? I hope you're having a wonderful day, a wonderful Wednesday, middle of your week or whatever. Forgot to put this on before we started. How's it going? Today we're looking at even more contemptuous sovereign citizens in court, doing weird audits, etc. Should be fun. Hope you're all doing well. If you're on YouTube, do me a favor and like the stream. Things that help the stream out. We only have one more day of costume day after today. If you want to help get towards the next costume month, leave a tip with the tip link. Other things that support the channel, subscriptions, memberships on YouTube, super chats, and bits. Alright, self-promotion out of the way. Sovereign Citizen Court is in session. How's it going, everyone? Tomorrow's payday? Good. Yeah, I got paid today, which was good. Got to go grocery shopping, which is always nice, having food. Well, that's good. Got some dill pickle potato chips that I will eat if I get hungry or craving for salt, which I normally do. So yeah, should be good, should be good. How's it going? Mr. Blast, Phoenix Leftist, Terradona, Spokane Dogman, Mr. Duck Sauce, Midnight German Cow JJ, and everyone else. I'm sorry I can't go through everyone, but those were some of the first people here. Beth, how's it going? Alright, so yeah. Maltese Falcon Punch, Run Trip Fall. Alright, let's just get into it. We're starting off with a court video today. I understand that this gentleman receives a contempt of court charge and then refuses to go to jail or something? Let's see what happens. I believe this starts with a little teaser of one of the more intense moments, and then it'll jump back to the beginning of the hearing. Hydrate, can do. PK the Lost, I will warn you, I am not doing the wig. The wig is so uncomfortable. Were you going to ask for the wig? I will do the hydrate, of course. Because I can't wear the wig today. Can't do it. I can do cat ears. I can be Judge Cat.
So you refuse to tell me where you're located. You refuse to tell me
that is under
your
threat,
address.
ma'am. That is under threat over a speeding ticket when you kept arguing with other people. I've been on this call patiently waiting at work. Patiently waiting.
This is kind of a confusing character, isn't it?
Yes.
Judge Cat Clown? Fuck. Any other hats a no-go for today? Nah, just the wig. The wig is particularly tight and uncomfortable. It's like the cheapest wig I've ever seen in my life. I need to get a different judge wig. Anything else is fine.
I'm not going to allow him to disrupt these proceedings anymore. Missy, disconnecting.
I was trying to reschedule it.
We are on the record in 2024 TR 1376, State of Kansas versus William Wayne Phillips, with Jared Regier for the state. Mr. Phillips, in count one, you're accused of speeding 80.
A weird pause. Toreador says Hannah Panda Esquire. The fourth!
86 in a 65 mile per hour zone. That is a traffic infraction. No.
Next costume month, can I tell you what the stream will be about so you can coordinate? Sure, that sounds reasonable. Sometimes I don't know in the morning, so some of the days I might have to say, like, today's either going to be this or this, but I can at least give you an idea of what it'll be. Most days I'm pretty sure, though, so I'll let you know.
No jail time, but a fine. And then count two, driving while your license was canceled, suspended, or revoked.
That's not good. Sovereign citizens really like to drive when they're not supposed to.
That is a B misdemeanor.
Why are so many of these guys taking important meetings from their vehicle? A car isn't actually a bad place to do a call like this. It's a relatively isolated sound environment. That's also why a lot of people do recording for videos in their car if they don't have soundproofing in their office, like I or other, more professional, like, online content creators do. So, like, if you are just trying to do a quick meeting or something, it's not a terrible place. Also, sometimes people have to do stuff like this on their lunch break because they can't get the day off work or can't afford to take the day off work. So there are valid reasons. Yeah, apartments have thin walls. It's, you know, I get it. It looks a little silly, but there are real reasons people do that. Hey, Corax, how's it going? Oh, I didn't message you back earlier because I hadn't gotten a chance to read it yet, but I did see the Pulte thing. Pulte's having a motion against him for, allegedly, breaking a, gag order on his court thing. Pulte being one of the people who's involved in the meme stock stuff, but that's for a different day.
Misdemeanor normally, but the county attorney on August 1st of 2024 filed an amended information alleging that
Oh, I think also PP might be getting evicted, which is sad because I don't think anyone should be without a home. But also, if that's true, that would mean that, like, the tens of thousands of dollars he was given last year, he already gambled away on options trading, which is really depressing to think about.
that not only were you driving while suspended on May 21st of 24, but that you did have a prior driving while suspended
Ooh,
conviction
I can breathe.
from August 23 in Wichita Municipal Court. That prior elevates this from a B to an A non-person misdemeanor. It increases the fine
Or went straight up his nose or other orifices. I will not speculate on other people's chemical dependencies that they may or may not have picked up from Bill Pulte.
from $1,000 to $2,500 maximum, and it requires a minimum must serve 5 days in jail up to 1 year in jail.
Oh, that's not fun.
With that minimum mandatory jail time, are you going to be hiring an attorney, sir? Okay.
With that, my license has been suspended due to being out of state, and it's no.
Is that a thing? Can your license be suspended for leaving the state? Because I don't think that makes any sense, because even if you were out of state, in another state, you would have a driver's license if you moved. You would still need an up-to-date license. I don't understand.
No longer suspended out there. Like
They're doing a Coke Oreos collaboration. Which direction? Is it Oreo flavored Coke or Coke flavored Oreos?
Going back and forth with California for 3 years over this, and it's no longer suspended.
It could have just expired while he was out of state, but that's still an easy fix, right? You're supposed to get a new license when you move to a new state. Like within 6 months or a year. I don't know the exact amount of time. Different states probably have different standards for that.
And
this actually did come with a lace collar, but it's way too tight for me. And I don't mind a choker. Like, I have kind of a cute choker here that Baja got me that's like a slasher weapons with blood dripping on them choker, which I really like to wear. I've actually been forgetting to wear this as part of my Femi Kruger outfit. This is supposed to be a part of it, and I've been forgetting to put it on. But yeah, the lace collar is just way too tight.
All I have to do is go get my license here, what I've been told from.
Oh, holy crap! KF Logan! Thank you so much for the raid! I hope you had a great stream. Welcome, raiders. I'm Hannah. I'm a leftist variety streamer that covers all sorts of strangeness on the internet from various weird subcultures. I cover conspiracy theorists and debunk them and talk about why they believe what they believe. I cover far-right extremists and just general right-wing strangeness. Today we're doing Sovereign Citizen Watch, which is a specific conspiracy theory in which people think that certain laws don't apply to them. For instance, traffic laws, having license plates and stuff, and they end up in very strange situations in court. So we're taking a look at that today. If this seems interesting to you, if you want to hang out for a while, it's a great community. Give a follow. People in my community, if you haven't already, go check out KF Logan. Kevin's great. All right, so make sure you go check him out. There is a link in the chat. At least there should be. Did we get a shout out? We did get a shout out. Make sure you check him out. Hope you had a great stream.
All right, well, they go by what the status was when you were driving. And I think if you had an attorney, he'd probably say, stop talking.
Kelly, thanks for following.
And wait to talk to him before you make any more statements. But you can waive your right to an attorney and represent yourself. You've heard me tell people all morning that you can hire an attorney if you cannot afford an attorney. You can apply and see if you qualify for court appointed. But now you told me you were the supervisor of a company there, so I'm not sure that you'd qualify, but you can always apply. You could waive your right though and represent.
Always take an attorney. I know people know this, at least I'd hope you know this, but if you need an attorney, take an attorney. It's your right. Get one in any criminal matter. Not worth it. No one's good at defending themselves. You could be a great lawyer and you would still be bad at defending yourself. Don't do it.
Yourself, and we can either set this for trial or give you some time to talk to an attorney. What would you like to do?
In the beginning, you
A
said
gavel's used in US court but are not used in UK courts. What do they use in UK courts if they need people to order or need to like be like, hey, we're starting? It just feels satisfying.
something about obtaining a license though, because this is just
Oh,
the
you're
first.
thinking
appearance,
about,
right?
okay, you're thinking about when I was talking to the group probably about diversion. If you get your license, you can maybe qualify for diversion. I'm not sure you'd be successful. You can always check, but it looks like with your speed, you're probably outside their guidelines. I think I saw something to suggest that.
Makes too much money,
Maybe
I'm
not.
assuming.
Yeah, I think you're outside the speeding guidelines, and I don't
Oh,
think
he's
they
talking about
divert
something
on
else.
second time driving while suspended. But again, I'm not the one that decides that. It's not even my program. It's strictly up to the county attorney. You can always look and see if you'd qualify, but from my years in this business, I have a hunch you're not eligible.
Well, if I need an attorney, I'm not going to get one from you guys. That's most definitely.
All right. Well,
You
our
know what I mean?
taxpayers will appreciate that. Okay, so you're gonna hire an attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll make
That's
a note
good.
that you're
That's good.
hiring an attorney.
I'm glad you won, Griffin
And,
Doggo.
let's put this on a Monday.
Yes, Judge, that'll be October 28th.
Astro
Ken?
Fox says, according to a recent poll, Harris is leading in all but 2 swing states, tied in Georgia and only losing in Nevada. Everyone go vote. Act as though the polls say she's 5 points behind. Everyone go vote, please.
It be scheduled after that. I won't be back into this area for the next like 2 or 3 months. So
Now, I'm not gonna put it off 2 or 3 months, but I can move it up. Do you want to try to do it before you leave? When are you leaving?
I'm already gone. That's
you're
the thing.
Oh no!
already gone?
Fenekagami says, getting a lawyer is such good wisdom that even lawyers hire other lawyers to defend them, right? A doctor wouldn't operate on themselves unless they were stuck in Antarctica with no other doctors to help them when they caught appendicitis.
Yeah.
That happened, look it up.
So I mean,
Where are you, in California?
no, I'm in Independence, Kansas.
Well, that's not that far.
It is when I have to work. I mean, the only reason why I've been driving back and forth with no license is because I have to feed a family. You know what I mean? So
I understand what you mean.
and that's not an excuse. That's a reason. So
All right, give me that date again.
It always sucks because sometimes sovereign citizen stuff comes from a place of desperation. Now, I don't know how in earnest this guy's situation is, but let's take him at his word for the sake of this discussion. A lot of people end up desperate, and when they're desperate, they're more likely to believe conspiracy theories or believe outlandish things that might help them, because that's the nature of desperation. You'll take any opportunity to get out of your situation. So it does suck when people end up in financial straits or legal issues that put them against a wall to the point that their brains allow them to fall off track into conspiracies. Not that they don't have culpability for their own things they fall into, but there is just sort of a social layer to this that's pretty unfortunate.
Farther out than October 28th,
No, I
Judge?
don't want to do
Okay.
that. Now, how long are you going to be in Kansas, though?
how long am I going to be in Kansas?
Right, are you leaving state for any reason with your work?
No, I won't be back around El Dorado for like 3 months.
Okay. All right, sir, I'm detecting a bit of an attitude, and I've had a bit of problem with you all day long. I'd suggest you kind of take a deep breath and try to get rid of the attitude, because then if you don't, you may cause me to have to get an attitude too. So
Well, likewise, take that deep breath, do the same thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, see, okay, all right, okay. As a person who has a bit of snark in me myself, I understand that there's a pretty strong urge if someone's snarking at you to wanna go back. The one situation that you shouldn't do that in is to a judge, because they are literally in charge of adjudicating the matter of your freedom. So I wouldn't recommend it. In this case, I don't think she was being absurd. But he clearly got upset and said something he really shouldn't have said. Not great. Penekagami says he screwed up. He admitted he was driving, not traveling. Checkmate, Sovsit.
I mean,
excuse me?
I said same. Do the same thing. Take
Oh, he's tripling down on it. He's not even saying like, oh, I messed up. Oh.
that deep breath. Goose fraba.
All right, Mr. Phillips, do you know what my title is?
I do, but that doesn't give you the right to belittle me or anybody else in your court.
Oh boy. Social Warlock Trey says, if you're in my state, Nevada, and don't vote, what the fuck are you doing? Remember, the South might seem well off, but Northern Nevada is full of unhinged loons. Vote. Don't let Republicans fleeing California turn us red.
You know,
All right,
you have a code of conduct.
I get behind that
Okay.
message.
Okay,
You have to follow.
I am finding your conduct contemptuous because you're interfering and disrespecting the process and the court. You are hereby fined for direct contempt of court, $100 cash payable in 1 week to the clerk of the district court.
That's fine.
Oh boy, that's a steep fine. Did she say 1,000 or did I mishear that?
For direct contempt process and the okay,
You have to follow.
I am finding your conduct contemptuous
100? Okay.
because you're
I thought she said 1,000 somehow. That was gonna be a lot.
interfering and disrespecting the process and the court. You are hereby fined for direct contempt of court, $100
Okay.
cash payable in 1
Yeah, that's not great. I wonder if she's gonna stack these up and it's gonna be a Breakfast Club scene.
week.
You want another?
To the-
You want the bull? You'll get the horns.
The clerk of the district court.
That's fine.
And if I have any more problem with you, it's going to go up a little bit more. And if I have any more problem with you, you can go to jail over it.
Might as well just light $100 bill up in front of you for no reason. Not worth it.
You don't seem to be respecting or appreciating this court. You've drunk. I can't remember if I saw you smoking. You've eaten since this hearing started. You've rolled your eyes. You have just been totally inappropriate. You've complained that you can't be here when I tell you to, that it's inconvenient because you're maybe a couple hours away. Some of these people are in other states. I
I have Jay's a proxy.
had someone from Australia on the docket here recently. So don't
But
tell
that's
me,
not this case. That's not this case. This is my case, not their case.
yes, it is. And that's
No, it's-
$200 for contempt.
Oh
You better get
boy!
a clue who's in charge.
There's another 100. Oh boy, some of the people in the audience too are waiting for their turn. Some of them you can't see because they're further to the right or left, but they're going, ooh! $200 for nothing. Jesus, that sucks. Quit while you're behind, man. I haven't Spokane Dog Man. I haven't
Charge
seen
here and
him.
why you're here. It's because you were allegedly violating the law. I didn't go out and find you, and you are not to respect to any court or disrespect any court that way. $200, Mr. Phillips, due in court Monday, or you can serve 3 days in jail if it's not paid by 1 week
Jesus.
from today.
1 week from today.
This is my final order on the subject. $200 to the clerk of the district court, 1 week from today.
This was on a channel that normally covers Sovsits, but he might just be a belligerent asshole.
And if it's not
If that's what it is, that sucks, but it's okay. I'll make sure we get a Sovsit next.
paid,
So is it Monday or is it 1 week from today, which would be Wednesday?
Because the title calls him a Sovsit, too.
Because you're going off of business days, correct?
She's pausing like I do when I find a video or something that's like doing something. Yeah, it's old Squishy Gardener.
You're ordered to be in court, in the courthouse. August 21st.
Well, if he does the 3 days in jail, it's not 3 days or $200. It's give us the $200 within a week, or you're going to jail, and also you still owe us $200.
2024, 9 a.m. You are to be in El Dorado, Kansas, at 201 West Pine, the Butler County Judicial Center, August 21st, 2024 at 9 a.m.
So you're making me appear under duress and coercion and
There it is. That's opposite language. We did it. We found it. Case dismissed.
threats of incarceration, pretty much.
For those who came in from the raid, sovereign citizens typically have certain language that they learn through the conspiracy gurus online that teach them a bunch of pseudo-legal nonsense. They think that, like, their name is separate from who they are, and that there's a straw man that makes them legally distinct from the human being person, and the state only has, like, authority over the straw man. Man. It's a whole thing. And the words he were using were some of their typical nomenclature from the conspiracy theories.
I'm just trying to understand this, because before you were willing to do it, and then you said
Yeah, I don't know why they're saying El Dorado that way. That's weird.
I had a disrespectful attitude, but I've been listening to you, ma'am, all day, just drilling everybody. You know, I'm a supervisor on a construction crew, and I don't even drill my guys like that, or their family members. I know this is being...
I would hope not. Why would you treat them like someone who's in contempt of court?
recorded, so I would like a copy of this, because I'm going to take this to an attorney.
Yeah, I'm with what is her name? McKaylin. I'm with McKaylin on this one. Hand over mouth. Yep.
To be here in person at the Butler County Judicial Center, 201 West Pine.
You gotta try not to react too, because your case is up next, you know? Oof.
El Dorado, Kansas, 9 a.m., August 21, 2024. I have found you in direct contempt of court for your attitude, your comments, your disrespect, your delay of the proceedings, because I'm having to take extra time away from others to deal with this arrogance and the eating and the drinking and so forth. And
it's not weird that they get to watch other people's cases. It's the same thing if you go to jail, or if you go to court in person. You sit in the audience until it's time for your case to be called. So this is the same thing, just digital.
You owe the court
I don't owe you nothing. I owe the court and the state of Kansas. See, that's your problem. You're taking your own personality into your law, and that's...
Okay, this is not a good idea. He's gonna get a warrant. He's so fucked.
It's not appropriate. That is not appropriate.
That is how El Dorado is pronounced in Kansas? Oof.
Talking to some lady about her mother forgetting, and then grilled her about her forgetting. That's not her mother's position.
$500 cash.
Can we hurry up and get this over with?
$500 cash for direct court.
That's fine.
$500 cash for direct court. And I am ordering you to surrender yourself by 2:30 today to the...
By 2:30 today! $500, and now he has to go to jail or get an arrest warrant. Incredible. There's some fumbles. I've seen some fumbles in my day, but this is the worst. This might be some of the worst performance I've seen since Daryl Brooks. And Daryl Brooks was something. Paradona with 100 bits says, Judge, go to jail. Go directly to jail. Italian Shakespeare says, cleanse. I think it's safe. Thank you. I'll save this for later. Put it in my tabs.
Butler County District Court. 2:30 today.
I
Oof.
cannot do that.
Well,
Because
then
you're
I'll-
making,
That was not, she was not a question, sir. We are beyond that, and I get it. I understand that sucks and it's inconvenient, and that could probably fuck up your whole life, but like, oh boy, you fucked up real bad. You fucked up so bad.
Send a sheriff out to get you.
because you're putting your personality in this, man. I'm gonna hire an attorney. I am gonna get off this Zoom, and I want this sent to my email. I know your deputy is listening, and I demand this footage because I'm going to take this and I'm going to appeal all of this. You have been delaying the court the whole
He's in his car, so I don't know how a bailiff would remove him.
time.
All right, I've given you my order. Disconnect him from the call. He better be here. The sheriff will go
I
in.
will not be there.
All right, the
That
sheriff
is
will
under
come get you.
threat of
What
that
is
is
your
under
address?
collusion
Where are you
and threat
located?
of imprisonment.
Mr. Phillips, where are you located?
Not here.
You refuse to tell me your address?
Not here? Oh, that was the only that was the worst answer you could have given. That's objectively untrue. We see you're there. That's a tautology.
And your location?
That is under threat and incarceration. I want my attorney present.
What company do you work for?
It is
I want to make sure I never have my house built by them. Make sure I never hire them.
it is none of your business. You will be informed through my attorney. My attorney, yes. I need you to state your name for me.
So you refuse to tell me where you're
This was just the arraignment. Like, this wasn't even the trial. Oh my god.
located. You refuse to tell me
That is
your
under threat,
address.
ma'am. That is under threat over a speeding ticket when you kept
Yeah, you probably should have stopped, man.
arguing with other people. I've been on this call patiently waiting at work.
Hello,
Patiently waiting.
Malfoul
When
How's it
I
going?
called because I got a reminder
Disconnect
this
him from
morning
the
out
call.
of
I'm not
town,
going to
and I
allow
was
him
trying
to
to
disrupt these
reschedule
proceedings
this.
anymore. Missy,
I
disconnect
was
him.
trying to reschedule it, so
Oh boy. He is very fucked. That's, unironically, that's like, Daryl Brooks's performance was worse, but Daryl Brooks was fucked either way, right? He murdered people and injured many, many others. He was fucked either way. It was all on camera. This guy wins the award for most damage he could do to his own case in one sitting. He went from what is effectively probably a ticket, maybe some sort of diversion program, to a warrant. That's not good. That's not good. Quite bad. I declare that a fail. Can I tell the judge is a former prosecutor? I can tell. It is funny when you can tell if the judges have a history more in prosecution or in defense. Because you can tell, usually. This jail speed run, he backwards jumped up the stairs into a prison cell. Alright, let's see what we're going to cover next. I do have another one from her, but I'll save that for later. We'll mix it up. Oh, I did want to cover, I guess, these guys. These are auditors, who are people who are kind of sovereign citizens. They're at least related, that go around and just try and film people. Yes. Basically to be assholes. They claim it's to check their First Amendment rights. But, like, they're usually just trying to get attention. Apparently they're going to First Amendment audit a church, so let's check that out. The only way it would have been worse is if he threatened the judge and it seemed like he was seconds away from it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Very creepy intro, by the way. This is some weird Christian dominionist shit. Not great. Not great. Oh my goodness, just get to the thing.
Guys, dry. A bunch of people are looking out the window.
Can rocket
I was so startled I almost dropped my knot flask, totally not filled with alcoholic beverage, but I managed to save it. Here's pure, wholesome, family-friendly dream about. So I was minding my own business, having a totally epic, pure, wholesome, family-friendly dream about nature or something, when all of a sudden I hear this commotion.
You think it's okay to film a woman getting undressed behind her window?
Don't touch my equipment.
I didn't touch your
Don't
equipment,
touch
but
my
I can
equipment.
block it.
I was so startled I almost dropped my knot flask, totally not filled with alcoholic beverage, but I managed to save it just in time, thank God. A bunch of people are looking out the windows, and there's just this crazy shit going down outside.
I am not comfortable with you being here.
You are stalking this church.
How?
By recording the people coming in here. That's
You
called
can use
stalking.
You can use that license plate information to keep them here.
Oh! He hit me. Oh, his camera hit me.
Oh my.
Holy crap. Oh, your camera hit me in the eye.
No, it did not, man.
It did.
Got it on the film. I am
going?
protecting them.
How are you gonna protect them if I was really psycho?
I will take you down. I will
BC Schwartz, 1992. Thanks for following.
take you down.
I can stand wherever, fuck you, fuck you.
You could hear how triggered this Karen was from all the way inside, and I knew that could only mean one thing, that our boy PLA was on the scene, and class was in session.
Can I ask what you're doing?
Cut. You just ruined my shot.
What are you doing?
I can't answer that.
Okay, so this is gonna be one of these videos where I'm creeped out by everyone involved, it seems like. Hey, Twin Tails. Thanks for being a subscriber.
I'm Director of Communications here for the church. I need to know what you're doing.
You need to know?
Yeah,
Why?
because you're on our property.
No, I'm not.
The thing is, right now, I think he's on a public sidewalk, which I think he probably legally would be allowed to film the church. He's still being a creep. Don't get me wrong. I think he's being a big creep, but I don't know if this constitutes illegality at this moment. Jolly and Wag, thank you for following. Hydrate, will do.
They're filming our people coming into our church.
Yeah, that's true.
What are you doing?
I can't divulge that right now.
Great. I'll just hang out with you.
You don't have to go to church?
Do you? Do you worship here?
I don't have.
The thing to do in this situation, if someone's being a creep like this, play copyrighted Disney music. That way they can't monetize the video. If they're really there just to film, it won't bother them. If they're there to make money off of drama, it'll annoy them and they'll go away because they can't monetize it if you play a bunch of Disney music over it. Jake Hayer, thanks for following.
Answer those types of questions.
Okay.
Do you?
I do.
So then why aren't you inside? Well,
Face Stabber says, there's a person in my town who does this, walks around filming random people and has a YouTube channel. Yeah, a lot of them do it, like, just to try and find confrontation. For me, it's not even necessarily about the discussion of the legality, because oftentimes it's not illegal what they're doing. Like, for instance, he's on the sidewalk. I think he's probably fine here. He is being creepy, though, and occasionally they'll do illegal shit that actually gets them arrested. It's interesting.
Get these license plates.
Oh, interesting.
8FET038.
Get his picture, Todd.
Are we okay here?
He's filming the license plates and he's saying them out loud.
All right, I'll call it up.
Oh god, she's giving him what he wants to. He wants someone to come up and react. That's part of the thing they enjoy, is getting reactions out of people. They're like trolls IRL. If you give them attention, negative attention included, that's what they want. That's not helpful.
Call police.
Please do.
What's wrong with you? Why are you following me? But what's wrong with that?
And the next part coming up, I'm not sure if he's on public property anymore, which would be an issue, because I guarantee you they'll trespass him.
I got you.
Why are you trying to get my picture?
In the UK, continuing to film people might fall under stalking and harassment, which is a crime. This is the US, and I'm not sure which state, so it really depends.
Why are you trying to get mine?
Okay.
I already did. But who are you guys that have to answer your questions? Hold on.
We are members of this church. You are filming us.
Oh yeah, you came up to the camera.
You are filming us.
You came up to the camera.
Oh, I think he's creepy either way, Demi Bird. Like I said, he's being a creep. I'm just discussing whether or not it's actually illegal at this moment.
I'm gonna film. Hold on. Don't touch my equipment.
I didn't touch your
Don't
equipment,
touch
but
my
I can
equipment.
block it.
Your equipment.
Don't touch my
No one
equipment. I'll
touched your
defend
equipment.
myself.
No one
I
touched
can
your
block.
equipment.
Got it?
I can block
No
it.
one
JD
touched your
Bonovich, thanks for
equipment.
following.
I got it on 360, dummy.
You know the kind of person who can never admit that they're wrong? I think there's a term for that. Karen seems ready to die on this hill. And yet, to his credit, at least Darren dropped the whole eye injury charade quickly after being called out on it. We see a lot of projection from these kinds of people too. Darren with his peeping Tom insinuations.
Alright, so this looks like they're actually on church property. This is probably where they're actually gonna get into some issues. Because it's one thing to be a creep and film them from the sidewalk, which again, is creepy. Once you go on their property, you can at minimum get trespassed, and then if you ignore that trespass warning, not gonna end well for you, probably. Phoenix 2250 with a 5-stream streak says this doesn't work on mobile. Luckily, I'm on my laptop. Nice. Well, thanks for continuing your streak.
Whew, it's hot today.
Want some coffee or water?
I'm sorry?
Want some coffee? Coffee?
Oh, no, thank you.
No?
How are you guys doing?
Doing well.
Well, Green's aplenty. A Walmart's open to the public. It's a place of public accommodation, but you can still be trespassed from it if they ask you to leave. Places of public accommodation are only such at the will of the owner or manager of the establishment. So there are places of public accommodation, like a church, like a Walmart, like any store that you go into with operating hours, that you are allowed to go into. However, it's at the discretion of whoever's in charge of the property. So they can at any point tell you to leave for any reason that isn't inherently discriminatory by the law. Italian Shakespeare with a 3-stream streak says, say, I'm a judge and you're fucked, bitch. I'm a judge and you're fucked, bitch. Is this a satanic church? He's calling it a satanic church, but I think it's probably just a more progressive church, and this guy's a super right-wing Christian. So I assume he considers it satanic because, you know, they might not hate gay people and stuff. Overthought with 100 bits says, what's the difference between filming the church on the sidewalk versus stepping 2 foot forward and filming the church? I figured this wouldn't be hard to argue if they wanted to press charges on him. I mean, the law is the law. So, like, it might seem arbitrary that you can film in one place and not the other. But sometimes the law's like that. Benikagami says, I'm really hoping there's their weird movement starts to do with the away with a lot of the tolerance of the funniness of these kinds of assholes so we can shame society into having less of them. I know dicks like this will always exist, but I'm kind of tired of feeling like half the country are like this. Yeah, it's tiring.
You guys are having service today?
2 services.
Parking lot looks a little empty. Probably Father's Day, right? Everybody's home?
Yeah, they check the golf course.
Yeah, go check the golf course. They're all there.
They're all down there, huh?
Yeah. Kind of smoky, huh?
Huh?
Kind of smoky, huh?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know?
No.
Pink shirts sits down on the bench right next to me. Why does he put that in? Okay, he's allowed to do that. What?
Is it?
Yeah.
I got these polarized glasses on, and it's kind of hard to.
Oh, they're the camera glasses, so they even know he's filming right now? And he wants them to know too. He brings it up so awkwardly. Yeah, I got these Polaroid glasses on.
Let's see. Yeah, it is. Sometimes I can't even see my phone. When they get out here in the sun and these polarized glasses get dark, it's real hard to see my phone. Sometimes when I'm not live right now, but sometimes when I go live, I can't even read the chat. So, the church, non-denominational, or I looked at the website a little bit.
So Lutheran Church.
The Lutheran. And do you know?
Oh, polarized, not Polaroid. I thought there were some kind of fucking camera glasses. A boomer.
Kind of a bullet point synopsis of, because I'm familiar with like Baptists and evangelicals and things like that. Is there like a bullet point
Juggle can do
differences between Lutheran and, let's say, non-denominational or Baptist? Or
That'd be the guy to ask right there.
who's that guy? You're the pastor?
I'm one of the pastors, yeah.
You're one of the pastors?
I didn't
I'm
point the
born again.
camera at them because I didn't want to trigger them. This guy seems pleasant. Juggle.
Yeah. Yeah, did you hear the question that I asked?
I didn't, no.
I'm just wondering, what is like the major differences between the Lutheran denomination and, let's say, a non-denominational church or a Baptist church?
Yeah. Honestly, I haven't studied exactly, what Baptist believes and the particularities of them and non-denominational, but as Lutherans, we specifically, we have a distinction between what we call the law and what we call the gospel. And so if you know what the Ten Commandments are, that's an example of law. They're the thou shalt not. And so the law is anything that's commanded towards you. And the gospel is everything God does for us. And we want to make sure, we keep them distinct from each other. Otherwise, what you get is a salvation with works.
So I'm on your property and I want to be respectful. Would you mind if I filmed you during this for the people, just so that, I mean, we're talking about the gospel, right?
Yeah, but we've had issues before with you on our property, right?
Not with me.
Well, with somebody with the same motive.
You don't know my motive.
You were trying to get a rise out of people.
Well, what's your motive?
What are you here for?
You're sinning. You're bearing false witness against me right now.
Okay.
You're bearing false witness.
Okay, that's a sin.
What are you here for?
I told you I'm born again.
That's great.
I'm very familiar with the Bible.
Cool.
Please do not bear false witness against me. You don't know my heart.
Okay.
You don't know my intentions.
Okay.
So please don't do that.
It's odd to be here though with a bunch of cameras on you though, isn't it?
No. If you knew my intentions and you knew my heart, it wouldn't be odd at all.
Okay.
The fact that you're ignorant.
You seem pretty angry about it.
Well, I'm angry that you just bore false witness against me and accused me of doing something that I wasn't doing. That makes me angry because I get that a lot from my brothers and sisters in Christ.
Baptists also aren't supposed to drink, Phoenix. Lutherans can drink.
And
Not supposed to drink to excess, but that's just a general.
And it's pathetic. And it's a sin.
Jay's a proxy with 15 stream streak says Brown is doing well in the polls, but I'm concerned about Tester. Abolish the Senate.
It is pathetic.
It's a sin. You shouldn't do that. God knows
I'm
me.
a sinner.
I have a personal
That's why I
relationship
come
with
to church.
Jesus Christ.
We all do.
No, we don't all.
Oh, we don't?
No, we
We
don't
should.
all. We all should, but we don't all. There's lots of people that do not.
Theological arguments just make me want to bang my head against the wall.
Including people that come to your church, as with any church. Let's not forget that 1/12 of the disciples was possessed by the devil.
What?
Let's be mindful of that.
I'm sorry. Did I miss that part of the Bible? Which part did they say that?
So if 1/12 of Jesus' disciples was
Did you
possessed
come
by
here to preach?
was possessed by Satan.
You came here to preach?
No. Did you come here?
But why would they think that's Judas? And Judas also hung himself after, or wandered, I think, depending on... there's different versions. At least in some of them, he kills himself. So that seems weird. I don't understand that. Also, it's part of the plan, right? If you think that Jesus died for... I don't get it. This is what I'm talking about. Theological arguments. Doesn't make sense to me, because I don't think it makes sense.
Here to instigate me?
No, I came here
All right,
to keep you
so here we go.
from doing anything.
All right, here we go. I came here with a pure heart and a pure spirit, and I came here...
Smart! He's doing the thing with the Disney music! This is also probably going to be a problem for me, but...
without any kind of motivation.
Someone else must have given them the same tip.
Do me a favor.
You're still on our property.
I skipped past the music.
Now I've got three. Now I've got three. Now I've got three on me.
Do you want to come in?
Now I've got three on me.
Three, we're talking to you, brother.
Hey, we want you to
He's getting intimidated by by priests.
leave the
Do you want to come in?
Makeup. He's telling me to leave. You're telling me to come in.
Well,
I'll be
what's your
happy.
intent right now?
I'll be happy to go back and have a civil conversation with you.
Come back.
You're bearing false witness.
Yeah. What's your intent right now?
Are you still filming?
Huh?
We want you to
I thought
leave
you
the
said
campus.
you're going to the street.
Yeah, you're still on
You're
our
on private
property.
property.
You're on
Make up your
private
mind. He's
property.
inviting me in.
No, we're not
He's
inviting
got
you.
a collar too.
We changed
No.
our mind. Go on the street.
Who's in charge here? You or him?
No, the goal is.
Sir, who's in charge here? You or him?
I'm the pastor. What's your intent?
Thank you,
We're
sir.
both pastors.
Thank
the
you,
goal
sir.
is what's your intent right now?
All right. So I came here just to vlog the church.
Judas was the first vampire. That's true. That's in Dracula 2000.
Okay.
I came here as
Yeah.
a neutral observer
On our property.
on your property
Right.
to vlog the church. And as a matter of fact, I asked that gentleman for permission to film him because I told him out of respect for the fact that I'm on your property.
Okay.
Okay? He said no. I didn't film him.
But you're
This
filming
gentleman right
now.
here started bearing false witness against me.
Okay.
I started
How so?
telling him, huh?
How so?
He accused me of coming here with an ulterior motive.
What is your motive?
My motive was to come to vlog the church, as I just said.
Okay. But that.
This is what I do.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
I vlog churches. I go to churches. I'm born again.
Okay.
I like to document how my brothers and sisters in Christ treat me. So I go to churches.
Okay.
And I document
How do you
my...
treat them?
What's that?
How do you treat them?
With respect?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. If they asked you to stop filming, what would you do?
Pepper
Why
spray.
does this church feel like a front for the mob? All of these priests have kind of a vibe about them that I feel like if the camera's off, they're gonna beat the shit out of you. Like, what is happening? I feel like you're gonna go in the back and they're like cutting cocaine.
If they asked me to stop filming and I was on their property, I would stop filming.
Okay.
If they asked me to stop filming and I was on the public sidewalk, I would not stop
Where are
filming.
you right now, though?
I'm on private property.
Have you been asked to stop filming?
Yes.
I was been asked to stop filming
Are
him.
you filming?
Yes.
Okay, but you're not respecting his own request.
All right, listen.
So, like, dude, we just
Listen.
You guys be able to send someone?
Listen.
Yeah.
All right.
Listen. No,
I just told
wait,
you-
just real quick. Just real
I'm
quick.
vlogging the church.
So, yeah, you're vlogging the church, but like, we would invite you in if you were here. Like, what we gather for on Sunday mornings is to be with each other,
Okay.
to have conversation that's honest,
Okay.
To learn from the Word of God, and
Okay.
to worship together.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like you're here for any of those.
Okay.
It seems like you're here as a disruptor. Am I right?
No, you're wrong. You're completely wrong.
So the followers of these videos, do they have like a good opinion of the churches you visit?
No.
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 Okay.
And that's based on the behavior of the churches that I visit.
And you don't think you're provoking that behavior?
No, I don't think I'm provoking that behavior.
Not at all.
And I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something else.
Do you edit your videos, or do you show the whole thing?
I'll tell you something
Wait, no,
else.
no, no.
Gamer G says, don't underestimate priests. After all, the current pope used to be a bouncer. Didn't know that.
Answer the question. Do you edit the videos?
Hang on.
No, I asked you a question. I want
Overthought says, Martin Luther nailed the thesis. I'm about to nail your ass to the ground.
you to answer. Do you edit the videos?
Many of my followers.
This is where your
are
anger comes
atheists.
from people who are here. Do you
Many
edit your
of my
videos to make
followers
them
are
look bad?
atheists. Do you have anything against atheists watching my videos and me preaching to them about the gospel of Jesus Christ?
No, but is that what
Do you
you're
think
doing?
that's a good thing or a bad thing?
You're doing, dude.
That's what I do. How do you know what? Have you watched my videos?
I have. Yeah, I've watched a lot of the
What's
first
my name?
videos, brother.
I don't care what your name is.
So you haven't seen my videos?
Yeah,
If you're
I
Franklin
remember your
Ornelas, I know
name.
exactly who you are. Are you Franklin Ornelas?
No.
No? What's your name?
Why do you have a mask on?
What's your name?
Identity.
Why? Because I'm hiding from.
Come on, dude. What's your name?
Listen.
I'm gonna skip ahead to when the cops show up. Oh, maybe they don't. Okay. Oh, what a strange guy. Let's move on. How about one of their guru videos that tries to explain their mythology?
Well, on this particular occasion, I was just minding my own business and somebody said to me, hey...
Sorry, Fennikagami said the mob was a progressive ally, you know, since queer money spends as well as straight money. Makes sense.
Richard, have you got a moment? And I noticed out of the gloom came this rather unusual looking fella. He had this sort of dark floppy hat, a big long black coat, and a sort of long Gandalf style beard. And he said to me, let me buy you a drink. I want to tell you something. He said, you've almost got it, but not quite. And I want to tell you the greatest secret. And I thought, oh, okay. So we went into...
I'm sorry, is he genuinely trying to claim that a mysterious stranger in a bar told him the secrets to unlocking a new level of the law? A very original grift. That's wonderful.
To a pub, and we bought a couple of ales, and he took me to the very back of the pub in one of the darkest alcoves where he said we couldn't be overheard. And we sat down, and as we sat down, he reached into a bag and pulled out
amyl nitrate,
a board.
Oh.
And he opened this board, and I noticed it was a game. It was Monopoly. And he said, don't worry, I'll be as quick as I can. So as we sat down and we were drinking, and he was bringing out all the little silver playing things, you know, the top hat and the dog and the train and the iron, and then there were the community chest cards and the other ones, and then
I'm familiar with Monopoly.
There was some of the Monopoly money, which he was just sorting out into different piles.
Paradonis is at least he's creative with his backstory, I suppose.
And I thought, well, this is interesting. And he said, oh, pick a character, whichever character you like. So I looked down and I thought, actually, the top hat. I quite like the top hat. That would be lovely. So he said, do you know, your parents have done you a very big disservice in life. And I said, oh, really? What do you mean? He said, they informed on you. And I said, oh, I don't understand. What do you mean they informed on me? He said, when you were born.
Sorry, Mom and Dad. Snitches get stitches.
They informed
the universal policy. It's not up to me.
The government about you. They took you to a building, a government building, and there some...
Oh, friendo. In the United States, hospitals aren't government buildings. That's not how this works.
14 days after you were born, they told a registrar about you, and they gave away your legal title. And I said, I don't really understand what you mean. They said, well, the registrar filled in a certificate, did they not? They filled in your name, and your parents were the informants. I said,
the birth certificate. It's not a deed to you. That's not how any of this works. It's literally just an administrative document to show that where you were born, when, your legal name, your legal parents.
Oh, that sounds rather creepy when you put it like that. You're talking about my birth certificate, aren't you? He said, yes, that's right. And they gave your parents a copy, not the original. And he said, at that moment, you'd signed away, or effectively they had signed...
I'm not sure, Harold Edelman. Let me check. Yes. I'll have to vet these, but thank you. We can take a look at these next time.
Signed away their son's legal title.
Hey, Amber.
And this was then turned into a bond. And I said, oh. He said, you see, the thing is, at that moment, your legal title on this certificate became a trust.
It didn't. Sovereign citizens believe that your legal identity, as I said before, is sort of a straw man. They believe it's an entity in and of itself, that your name in all capital letters on government documents isn't referencing you, the flesh and blood person. They believe that it's referencing this hypothetical trust. Sometimes they describe it as a corporation, a dead entity, this thing that is separate to you, that is traded on the open market between nefarious countries and world leaders, trading us on a human stock market like chattel. Not true, of course, but it's what they believe.
Trust fund. The Treasury has now turned this into a trust fund. And at that point, he gave me a certain amount of Monopoly money. He said, oh, here's some money for the game. And I said, oh, thanks very much. But he said at that moment, he said, oh, I don't know, the trust fund has probably had £1 million put on it. And because...
And they think that their special secret account with their name has a certain amount of riches in it. I've heard anywhere from $1 million to $1 billion. Different sovereign citizens, different gurus believe different amounts. It doesn't matter. It's all nonsense. There's no secret account with your name on it full of money. That's not how the world works.
It was bonded.
Unless you have a rich uncle. Maybe then.
It was floated onto the stock exchange and was earning money. Throughout the rest of your life, this trust fund would earn money. It would earn huge amounts of money. Check how much you've got there, and I counted out the money. He said, that's like a trust fund, isn't it? That's the trust fund. The bank has just given you a whole load of money. And he said, which character are you playing? I said, oh, the top hat. He said, yes, that's your legal...
How did they even get this idea? I'm not sure the origin of it. I'd like to delve into that someday and actually find the first instances of this theory, if you want to even call it that. This mythology, lore. I'm not sure the origin, but from a purely scam perspective, it's a way to prey on the desperate, the poor, people who really need money and need a magic spell through, you know, fake legal bullshit in order to try and solve all their financial problems. You know, it's like any grift targeted at the poor. It's trying to give them hope that their problems, mostly caused by poverty, can immediately be solved by some sort of quick solution. And that's just not how the world works, unfortunately. Unfortunately, poverty is a systemic problem that we failed to address properly. Hydrate. Can do.
Legal title. He said, the government, when you ever get anything official, it will come with your name in capitalization. Big capitalization, the same as on your birth certificate. Capitalization. That's how you know that you are a player in the legal game of life. Your top hat isn't you, is it? I said, well, no, clearly it's just a silver little thing molded out of metal. He said, exactly. It's not actually you. Just as your legal persona, your name in capitalization, is not you.
Incorrect. Literally, a driver's license or a social security card or birth certificate or any kind of identification, they're not purporting it to be you. No one is purporting that that is you. It's an ID card or a birth certificate that is information related to you, but zero people, no one is claiming that that is you. It's just not a thing. Marcus Drake with 50 bits says, sovereign citizenship obviously had a bunch of ancestors going back to the 50s, but if I remember correctly, the person who formally combined it all was the white nationalist and Christian identity minister, William Potter Gale. Was he part of the Posse Comitatus? Because I know they had a hand in a lot of the origins of the Sobsit stuff.
And yet it's on all the bits of paper from the bank, from the tax office, all those different bits of paper on your car registration, all those different pieces of paper. That is a representation of you, but it's not actually you.
It is not a representation of you. It is a social security card or a driver's license or whatever.
Just the top hat.
It was at the time? Okay.
Is not actually you. And I said, oh, okay.
No one's claiming it's you. This is this weird, like, grift sleight of hand where they're like, ah, this card is you, but it's not. No one is saying it's you. Sorry, I'm repeating myself, but it just frustrates me. It's like they create a statement that no one said and acts as though they're refuting it when they're the one that made it up.
He said, so you've got the money from the trust. That is your estate. And we're going to play the game with your estate. He said, do you know much about trust funds? I said, to be honest with you, I don't know very much at all. He said, well, let me explain. You see, when you have a trust, there's a fund, and it's set up by the trustee, in this case, by the Treasury, the government, the Treasury. They've put in this money. Now, in order for a trust to work, there must be two other people in it. There's three maximum, you see. There is the beneficiary, the person that the trust is...
He did interview Flat Earth Dave. He's into all sorts of conspiracy theory stuff, I think.
Set up...
Or sorry, not Flat... Does he go by Flat Earth Dave? The pee-pee drinking fella, Dave, yes.
Which in your case...
Which, of course, we can't show until, I think, December or January. I'll have to find the sticky note that says the exact date. But because people donated, There's a moratorium on conspiratorial P videos, which I respect.
This is you, this money that's been put into, is yours to do whatever
Allegedly, Dave. Thank you. Flat Earth Dave's the other guy. Wrong name on my part.
you like with. Oh, I said, that's very nice. Thanks
It's
for...
beginning to look a lot like Pissmas everywhere we go. Well, that was pretty good.
Very much. He said, but there is also...
My Christmas album, dropping this November.
Somebody who must administer that, the executor. So the executor is the one who will make sure that things are paid or that you can withdraw money for what you need. And he said, of course...
He gives off I'm British, so I'm smart vibes. Oh yeah, it's the Sargon thing. It's just a British person grifting off Americans because Americans hear a posh accent and thinks it means someone's smart.
When you're a baby, you cannot be the executor because you are a minor. So until you reach the age of majority, which is 18, your parents would be the executor. They would administer the trust for you, set up by the government. He said the only thing is, the government, a bit canny like this, they don't actually tell your parents. And so your parents can't tell you that when you're 18, the age of majority, that you could now be the executor. So you go through life feeling that you have no money. You feel that you're a debtor, that you're constantly in debt, that you have to get a job because you need money to pay for the things you need.
That is how the economic system works that we live within, yes. Benekagami says, the birth certificate mythology is interesting to me because I bet most of the people believe children are property of their parents. A lot of sovereign citizens get into this stuff because they're in conflict with CPS. And, yeah, it's not great.
And yet all the time, there is this trust fund that as you go through life and you get older and the longer it's in there, the more money that it is accruing all the time. There could be, by the time you die, millions upon millions, maybe 50 million pounds are sitting in this trust, unused. He said, in theory, you could walk into a wonderful showroom of Rolls-Royce vehicles. You could, in theory, go up and say, that one, is that the most expensive Rolls-Royce? How much is that? It could be £1 million.
The obsession with, like, and it's... I understand wanting to not be impoverished. I would like to have more money than I have, you know? But the fact that it jumps immediately to I want to get the most expensive Rolls-Royce is interesting. Like, that's not even aspirational. That's just douchebag behavior. I immediately get money and my first thought is, what kind of big, stupid, expensive car can I get? Ugh.
You say, at the age of 18. I think I'll have that because I'm in credit. You've got this trust fund. I said, oh.
I don't even understand how he thinks this would work. Where would the value in the currency come from if no one is working for it? Like, if everyone, like at the age of 18, accessed this account, and everyone had all this money, and no one was doing labor because they had all this money, what do you do with the money? Because no one's working to earn money, so all of a sudden, you have a bunch of people with all this money that can't do anything with it, except maybe trade it amongst each other to get them to do services or make goods, but all of a sudden everyone has $1 million, so that's not even a lot of money anymore. You know what I mean? Everyone can't be rich. By definition, you can try and make things more equal, which I think is a great goal, but everyone can't be rich because being rich is defined by being separate from the average in terms of money, in terms of resources. It doesn't make sense. Ugh.
He said all you need to do is autograph the credit note and the car is yours. But of course the man who's selling you the car will say, hang on a minute, I don't understand. And you'll simply just say, well, take this credit note that I have now put my autograph on, take it to the Treasury, and they will dip into my trust fund and pay you. You'll get your money perfectly fine because I'm in credit. Look at the game. You have this big pile of money. I've just given it to you. That is your trust fund. He said, but in the game of Monopoly, as we go around and you get penalties and you earn money, he said, when you get a penalty, what do you do? I said, well, I just pay it out of this money. He said, yes, that's what you should do in life. But in life, you don't go to your trust fund. You pay it out of the money you've got a job, and your hard-earned job, you've got this hard-earned cash, real money that you're paying for all the bills and all the taxes, your council tax, your road tax, your fuel tax, you're paying your inland revenue tax, all the taxes you're paying out of your own hard-earned money. And yet you don't need to. You've got this rather plush trust fund, he said. He said, look at it, you can see it. And in the game of Monopoly, that is what you do. And I said, oh, yes, I see. He said, but the money is there. He said, yes, but because they don't tell you that you
Undercover special agent IRS.
He said, but the money is there. He said, yes, but because...
Undercover special agent IRS criminal investigation.
They don't...
That's him. We got him.
Tell you that you are the executor of the trust. You don't know. You just think you're in debt all the time and you're having to borrow money to buy a house and you get a mortgage and you're paying it all back. You could have got it straight from the trust and not had the bother. I said, wow. He said...
That literally a PDF of all of the rules of acquisition. Holy crap. Incredible. Rule number 1, once you have their money, never give it back. Rule number 2, you can't cheat on a customer, but it never hurts to try. Oh boy. That's pretty fucking incredible. Huh.
Life, just as you play on this game of Monopoly, there are hazards. And every now and again, because you've not earned enough, or you fell behind with your payments, or the interest rates have gone up, or the way the legal system has worked, it seems to be always against you. You drive your car and you get into a penalty area.
One of the things that annoys me the most about sovereign citizens is they're able to see the results of systemic problems, like mass poverty, over-policing, or police brutality. But instead of coming to the understanding of why these problems exist and that it would take a concerted effort collectively to get things changed, they go, nah, I can just opt out of this by using magic words. It's terrible. I've talked about this before. They're orbiting class consciousness in that they're always in free fall around it, but they never quite get there. They recognize some of the symptoms of the system that we work within and how there's inequality and stuff, but they never actually get to any sort of realistic solution or understanding of the problem. Penekagami says, a reminder that Sobsits hate communism and socialism because it would mean they were responsible to others and expected to care about them. Also, please adjust the auto mod. It blocked me from mentioning Sobsits started out as LARPers wanting a Civil War II because they lost the first one. I actually lightened the auto mod today. I already actually backed up on it, so...
And there's an infringement, or you park your car and there's a parking ticket, all these sort of things, and you haven't got the money because you haven't worked hard enough, or whatever it is, you could end up with summonses to a court. He said, do you know what a court is? A magistrate's court? And I said, well, yes, I've got an idea. He said, it's just the legal department of the Treasury. They want to make sure that you pay the bills or the infringements or the tickets and all of this, and so they'll administer it. So they'll have a convener, which they call a judge, at the magistrate's court, because all court sessions, all legal things start in a magistrate's court. I said, oh, yes. And you'll be summoned there. Now, of course, if you know that you're the executor, you can just tell them to say, well, just pay it out of the trust fund. But you don't know that, so you end up going to court. And the first thing that happens at court is, of course, they will say something like, for the record, state your name. And this is where the trick is played on you. Because you don't know who you are.
Sorry, I didn't hear the racism. I was reading something in chat.
You will say, my name is Richard Vobes. And at that moment, they've got you. Because effectively what's happened is you've said, I'm the top hat, or the...
No, you didn't. You're just identifying yourself. It was visual. Going scrubbing through. Yeah, I don't know. It's not uncommon. Unfortunately, as I've talked about before, the bedrock of most conspiracy theories ends up being anti-Semitism, at least in the West, because we have such a history from, like, our European ancestors, and American ancestors, of course, of just really common anti-Semitism and conspiracy theories like blood libel. It's not great.
The dog or the
I'll go
difference
back.
know who you, where the trick is played on you. Because you don't know who you are, you will say,
where?
My name is Richard Vobes. And at that moment, they've got you. Because effectively what's...
Did I miss it again? Before the Wizard of Oz. Oh! Yep. That'll do it. Marcus Drake says, sigh, I'm once again asking people to be normal about the Jews. Yeah, the anti-Semitism has just been... It just sucks.
And at that moment...
I wish it wasn't in conspiracy theory so often.
They've got you. Because effectively what's happened is you've said, I'm the top hat, or the dog, or the train, or the iron. You've become the player of the game. You've become the fiction. Because their world can only work on the fiction. A real living man cannot enter a real court. They cannot deal with you. So
I assure you they can. Jails are full of real men. Like, you can absolutely do that.
they have to get you to be the legal fiction. And so what happens then is...
The only thing common between you and the Scarecrow is you lack a brain. Ba-dum-bum.
They become the executive, they become the sole beneficiary, and you become...
What about a real woman? Nope, that's actually why I transitioned, specifically so no court would have authority over me.
A legal representative of the trust, but you end up paying out of your own money. So what you should do...
We're only like 5 years away from that being in the public domain, by the way, so that'll be a fun stream in like 5 years when we can watch The Wizard of Oz together.
Course, is tell them the truth, because you're not a capitalized version of your name. You're not the top hat. You're not the character that's playing the legal game. Of course you're not. You're a real living man. You're the executor of the estate of the top hat, or the capitalization, the persona of your living man. That's who you are, just as in Monopoly. So you would say, I'd like to introduce myself. I am the
allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste.
And the sole beneficiary of the estate of Richard Vobes, the legal persona. But I am the executor. And as there is only 3 people that can be in a trust, it means the judge, or the prosecutor, or the clerk of the court is the trustee. The role can switch around depending on who is taken the role, but one of them will have that role. They will, in fact, have a checkbook ready to pay should you announce who you are. Of course, most people don't, because they don't know, because this is the greatest secret, he said. But once you've announced who you are, and you say, well, I'm the executor of the estate, I'm the executor, I'm the one who controls and administers the top hat. So you're charging this estate the bill of whatever it is, the parking ticket, the...
We've heard many sovereign citizens use a script very similar to this, if not this exact script. So this is where some of them get it. Similar.
Inland revenue, the council tax, whatever it is that's not yet been paid. He said, fine, I've no problem paying it. Absolutely. The estate will cough up. Take the money out of the trust. The trust is there.
There is no trust. It's not a thing.
So as the administrator, as the executor, you're the one in charge, because the trustee has to do as you say. And by accepting and admitting and introducing yourself as the executor of the estate and the sole beneficiary, the judge...
What's the British guy's name channel? Richard Vobes. I'm not sure what his channel is called. I've seen him on multiple other channels, but his name is Richard Vobes, Vobes, Richard spelled how it's normally spelled.
Has to be the trustee. And he
knew
will
this guy seemed like a dick.
Have to pay. Well, he won't like that. He'll probably run out of court or say there is no case to answer because they tend not to like that sort of thing. But that is what it is. You don't need to pay it out of your own money. That's fallacy. You've got this money that's accruing. You can have whatever you like. I said, wow. He said, but they won't like it. And they will do all sorts of things. They will use threats and menaces and potentially try and arrest you and do all sorts of things because they need you to become the legal persona, the legal person, not a real living man, not the executor. They want you to be the top hat and then they can play the game against you. So you
Can I be the race car? Benekagami says, even if the conspiracy theory didn't start anti-Semitic, it'll become anti-Semitic after a long enough time because Nazis ruin everything. Yeah, unironically, neo-Nazi groups will have a strategy of finding, you know, communities of strange people online and injecting their own personal brand of bullshit into it. So you're not wrong.
You have to resist it.
He has a website? Of course he does. It's just vobes.com. Oh, that's a bad website design. Of course, there's a donate link right there. The first thing you see. Classy shit. I say with tip goals on screen like a hypocrite. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's bad web design. I will save this, though. We'll take a look at this for a Tinfoil Tuesday, because I know he covers other conspiracy theories as well. So let me give that. Save. Done. Thank you.
All times, because you are a living man. You are the executor. You didn't ask them to set up the trust. They set up the trust. You're just there to administer it, because you are the executor. So administer your trust, he said, with a wry smile. He said, do you fancy another drink? I said, no, I'll get them. So I went to the bar, thinking about this buzzing in my head. And when I came back with another glass of ale for us both, I noticed he was nowhere to be seen. He had gone. The board had gone, and all the things, except all that was left, was the little silver top hat.
And then everyone clapped. That man's name? Albert Einstein. We did it. True story.
And I could almost hear the words ringing in the air. You are the executor of the legal estate. The trust is in your name. Grab it.
Well, that was nonsense. Fun stuff. Let's see what we're going to do next, and then I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick before we get started on the next video. I have another one from the same judge from the first video, Judge Webster, which we'll take a look at when I get back.
All right, Missy.
Well, I am gone. Chair will tell you about a cinema classic, truly. It's up there with Ingmar Bergman's work, and that is Gary Busey in Charles Band, The Ginger Dead Man. Truly, this is what film was created for. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. back. Did you go anywhere? Because I told you not to.
Oh, it's in prison.
That's a little loud.
I want you to stop talking, or you can go upstairs to the county jail. We'll now be on the, in being in recess on Jackson, will now be on the record in Johnson. That is case number 2024 TR 22, State of Kansas versus Danny Johnson, County.
Jules Kersler asks, that go, I just. Oh, it's on this screen, I guess. Says, so do sobsits when they go to court think the judges know what they're talking about, but the judge pretends they don't know? Yes. I've literally heard them say that to the judge to say, you know what I'm talking about, you're just lying. So yes, many of them do believe that.
Attorney Jill Gillette for the state.
Yeah, he's wearing army fatigues, which, that's interesting.
Mr. Johnson appearing.
I don't know if I've seen a currently enlisted, sobsit before.
In person and pro se. Your name tag on your uniform says Johnson, so I presume you are Mr. Johnson. Yes, sir, if you could get right in front of that microphone, thank you.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Are you allowed to wear your army uniform to court? Like, unironically, is this allowed? Because it feels like it's almost like telling the court, like, I'm in the army or I'm in the armed forces, you should treat me differently. You know what I mean? This isn't even like a dress uniform. This is like his fatigues, you know? Like, it's court. This is not appropriate attire, I don't think, right? It seems like there's a lot of regulations, you know? It's often required to wear it in public, so maybe. Okay.
Sir, yes. You're charged in count 1 with speeding 82 miles per hour in a 65 mile per hour zone. That is a traffic infraction. It is not a charge that carries any jail time. It has a scheduled fine. 82 and a 65 is $87, but then there's also 108 court costs. In count 2, you're accused of operating your motor vehicle without proof of insurance. Now, if you had insurance but just couldn't find it, you can get the proof to the county attorney and she'll probably dismiss that charge. If, in fact, it had lapsed or something was happening so that you didn't have insurance on the vehicle at the time being January 4th, 2024, that is a B misdemeanor. The maximum penalties as far as jail time would be 6 months, although probation is usually granted. There is a mandatory minimum fine the court must impose of $300, but it could be as high as $1,000. You do have the right to hire any attorney of your
Spokane Dogman says it's a business suit and required attire while in service in civilian or military court. Okay.
Choice. If you cannot afford an attorney, you can apply and see if you qualify for court appointed. You can waive your right to counsel and represent yourself. Another option, you might be able to apply for diversion. That is where you apply, and if the county attorney approves you for diversion, you would pay agreed upon fines, costs, get your insurance current, and pay a diversion fee, and she'd dismiss the charges and keep them off your record. If you want to talk about diversion or anything else with your attorney, you certainly will have the opportunity to do that. Your pleas, you have a choice of pleas. You can plead not guilty, and we can set this for trial at a later date. You can plead guilty, admitting the charge, and we would proceed with sentencing. or you could plead no contest, which is neither admitting nor denying the charges, but you'd still most likely be found guilty and we'd proceed to sentencing. If you want to look into diversion, we'll enter a not guilty plea to give you time to do that. You can always change your plea, but once you're convicted, pre-trial diversion is off the table. So
probably not eligible for diversion based on his driving record.
oh, okay. Well, do you want to talk to an attorney then and discuss whether or not you have a defense? Or?
No, Your Honor, I would like to request a declaratory judgment due to there is no agreement.
A declaratory judgment. Oh no. He's basically asking the judge, just make a decision right now. I want you to say I'm not guilty.
For my performance under any agreement or commission of this court.
Well, I don't need an agreement from you, sir. So if I were...
Well, Your Honor, I simply do not understand the nature and cause of the accusation with regard to...
I think he's literally reading off a script. A lot of the SovSit gurus will give you like bullet point scripts or like full readout scripts, but you're not really supposed to directly read off them. You're supposed to memorize them. Oh, this is kind of embarrassing even by SovSit standards.
Jurisdiction of the venue and nature of this action until the prosecutor properly alleges them there. I cannot enter a plea to the charge until I have the opportunity to raise a meaningful defense on my behalf.
All right, I will then, since you cannot enter a...
Is this judge just me from the future? I'm feeling a relation or something. Look at us. I feel like there's a striking similarity. It's like pre-transition me was the first Pokemon form. This is my middle evolution, and then she's my ultimate form. I'm a judge, you're fucked.
Today, I will enter a not guilty plea for you and give you time.
I object, Your Honor. I object to you entering a plea to me because
Any plans on law school? You know, not in particular. I don't really want to ruin my life.
Let's understand.
No offense to people in law school, that's great. I just could not handle it, even a little bit.
The nature and cause of these accusations. So I do not agree to you entering a plea on my behalf.
Well, your position is taken and I'm still going to do it. I will note your objection for the record, but I'm going to enter a not guilty plea.
Well, I object to you entering a plea on my behalf.
Your objection is noted, and if the time comes, you can appeal that to the Court of Appeals. Now, on the issue
well,
of
I would like to ask, who bring these charges against me? I should have the right to question.
All right, we're not going to have this.
Yeah, he's disagreeing with the not guilty plea because sovereign citizens think that pleading in any way gives the court authority over them. It doesn't. The court already has authority over you if you're within their jurisdiction. But to them, they believe that they don't have authority and it can only be given by certain actions, one of them being pleading, which is why they will usually refuse to plead, which ends up the judge either putting in a not guilty or standing mute plea, which is a not guilty plea by another name, basically. I don't know if they realize they're not the first people in the history of American jurisprudence to decide not to respond or not be responsive during the pleading. They've dealt with this. You are standing mute. Since your guilt is not assumed, your innocence is assumed in our judicial system, they just assume if you are choosing not to plead, not guilty, and then they go through the trial, because you are entitled to a trial, and you're entitled to have the burden of proof be on the state to prove that you are guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a criminal matter. Marcus Drake says, I'm not saying law school was hard, but my first year I woke up at 6:30 a.m. to go to my contracts class, and the prospect of class caused me to burst into tears. I cried till my second alarm went off 15 minutes later, then had to get ready to leave. Make of that what you will. Yeah, I don't think I'll be going to law school. JD, thanks for subscribing on YouTube.
This debate right now. I've told you your charges. I've told you the state of Kansas has filed those through its attorney, Jill Gillette. Now,
well, I would like to call the state to the. I would like to call the state to the stand, Your Honor.
I'm doing
that. State bringing charges against me. Who's it? How did I injure the state?
All right, this is your first appearance. I advise you of your rights. I advise you of your charges and possible.
Your Honor, I object to the proceeding, for I do not know the nature and cause of the
I'm
proceeding.
entering a not guilty plea. Missy, when is?
I object to you entering a plea on my behalf. I do not grant you that right.
Missy?
You're supposed to act as a trustee.
Sir, you need to stop. You're being in contempt of court. You need to stop, or I'll have the officer assist you in stopping.
Well, Your Honor, I would like to also bring to you according to USC 12203.
Deputy Miles,
and also Article 3, the judge must operate in good faith and good behavior. So therefore, if you're making a threat towards me, then
Deputy,
that's
if he's going to keep being
perform in your
contentious, I'm going to
court.
have you take him into custody on contempt.
Then that would be illegal search and seizures, Your Honor.
Wouldn't you need to go back?
It will.
All right, Missy.
You have a right against unreasonable search and seizure, not against any search and seizure. There are conditions in which you can both be searched and or seized. Benekagami says, by the way, if the trust thing is supposed to be real, what's the excuse for why the gun gurus would need donations, or you'd have to pay them for the course? You know, since all their bills are supposed to be paid by the trust. Sometimes it's like a typical cult tactic where they'll be like, I don't really need the money, but I only want people in my program who are really serious about it. So you need to give some money to prove you're serious, which of course is a lie. They just want your money, but they want to make it sound like they don't want your money. Sometimes people just straight up don't think about it because frankly, if you're gullible enough to fall for some of these schemes, you might not be the kind of person who thinks things through very thoroughly. So it just depends. Just depends.
I want you to stop talking, or you can go upstairs to the county jail. Now, do you want to go to jail tonight?
Your Honor, again.
Deputy Miles, could you come in and assist the defendant?
September 27th at 9 o'clock will be the court date.
September 27th, you said 9 o'clock?
Yes.
9 a.m. You must be back here, sir, in person at the courthouse, or you will be arrested for failure to come to court.
John Corbell, thanks for 50 months. That's so many months. Thank you.
Now that deputy there is going to take you into custody if you cannot control yourself through the remainder of this hearing.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just enforcing my right, Your Honor.
All right. So your first right is to have a hearing date, and that is September 27th, 9 a.m. The second
I also have a right to understand the nature of this. I have a right to understand the nature of the cause.
If you don't want to listen to me, you can go to jail. Do you want to know, do you want to hire an attorney or apply for court appointed?
No, I do not. I don't need to hire an attorney, Your Honor.
You want to represent yourself?
I don't need to hire an attorney. I would like for you as the judge, Your Honor, to explain to me the nature and cause of the.
All right, I'm not going to appoint an attorney if you don't want me to. If you want, you said you don't want to hire an attorney. If you want to apply for court appointed, the officers have forms there that you can fill out.
I just want to understand the nature and cause.
If you don't want to fill one out, I'm going to assume you don't want an attorney. And then if you come to court September 27th at 9 a.m., you're going to be representing yourself if you don't hire or apply for court appointed. And so you've got the third issue. Does he have a bond? Looks like you do because you failed to appear February 27th at your first appearance. So bench warrant was issued, bond was set at $1,000 cash for professional surety. Looks like that was posted. Looks like you made a cash bond of $1,000. Does that sound right? You put up $1,000 cash back in July 12th?
I'm still trying to understand the nature and cause of this allegation, Your Honor.
I will continue your bond unless you get yourself hauled into jail on contempt before you leave. I will continue your bond with the condition that you reappear here in person at September 27th at 9 a.m. So you've got your court date, you've got your bond, and we've talked about your lawyer. Now, you're wearing a U.S. Army uniform with the name Johnson on it. Are you in or have you been in the United States military?
Your Honor, I'm still trying to understand the nature and cause of the allegation, Your Honor.
That's interesting, Dillis Filler.
All right.
I wonder if the Army's different.
If you can leave the courthouse now without any further...
How was he allowed to join the Army? Oh, Bravo needs bacon. The standards are not high for the Army.
disruption, I will let you do so. But I'm going to have those officers escort you to make sure you do so.
Not trying to denigrate anyone in the Army, by the way. I'm just saying, like, the bar is low, you know? There are plenty of very skilled and intelligent people in the military, but the bar for, like, the bottom rung just getting in is not high.
So,
Mr.
Gillette, anything further?
Your Honor, it is your oath to explain the nature and cause of the allegation against me. Are you failing to do that?
All right, you can either walk out the front door with the officers, or you can walk upstairs to the county jail with the officers. The choice is yours. Either leave.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand.
Or leave disruptively.
I'm not being disruptive. I'm just trying to understand the nature and cause of the charge.
All right, officers, I'm gonna close.
What am I doing? I'm sitting here trying to understand the charge.
If he gives any more grief.
All I'm asking is to understand the charges.
Honestly, I think this guy needs either a competency evaluation, or at least she should take the time to explain it to him, because he's not just being, I mean, he's being annoying, but, like, I think he's genuinely fallen for this grift and needs someone to explain to him that it's untrue.
This is for the record. You said it's for the record, so I'm trying to understand what am I being charged?
The charges. Goodbye, sir.
I just want to understand the nature and cause of the charges, Your Honor. That's all I ask. It is your oath to give that.
If you tell me what kind of questions you have, I'll be happy to answer them, but I've already told you.
Okay. Under what jurisdiction is these charges being brought to me under?
The state of Kansas has charged you with speeding 82 and a 65 and operating in a motor vehicle without liability insurance on January 4th, 2024 in Greenwood County, Kansas. You failed to appear for your first appearance.
Why does he insist that he's trying to understand when she explains that he's being charged with speeding? Am I missing something? Sovereign citizens have a very specific script. The script does not tell them what to do when she gives the actual answer, because the script is sold by a grifter. The script assumes that these are secret words where the judge will just go, "You're right! I don't have jurisdiction! You knew the secret words!" But of course, that's not how the world works. So when they give you an answer, they don't know what to do, so they just repeat the last part of the script over and over and over, hoping that the next time it'll work the way that it's supposed to work according to the guru. It's not great.
And a bench warrant was issued, and you were arrested, and you made a bond of 1,000 cash or surety, posting a cash bond. Now you have to go to court, and you have to answer those charges. You can
Your Honor,
have a trial if you like, and the burden will be on the state of Kansas to either prove or disprove. If they can't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, you're let go.
Well, I'm still trying to understand what jurisdiction am I being charged under, Your Honor? That's all I'm trying to understand.
You're being charged under the jurisdiction of the state of Kansas under its criminal.
But according to the Constitution, there are only two jurisdictions.
All right, we'll have that on a later date. We'll be at recess, officers. Please escort him one way or the other, depending on his behavior.
But I'm still not understanding what you're charging me with.
Goodbye. We are adjourned.
But if she's the judge, I'm supposed to have clear and concise of what I'm being charged with. I'm not giving y'all a...
Yeah, this guy needs a social worker or something. He's refusing a lawyer, but someone needs to talk to him and explain to him that he's been had by this script. It's not real and his understanding is poor.
Problem finding.
Oh yeah, he seems genuinely confused. I feel bad. This is not someone who's just using this hoping to get out of it because they confuse the judge. He is genuinely confused.
Well, I'm waiting on the Your Honor to explain.
All right, Missy.
But that's it.
That's our last case on the docket, isn't it?
This is not good.
Yes.
All right. Ms. Gillette, I'll see you at 3:30 docket.
Your Honor, can I please go home?
Jail's not gonna help this guy get better. He needs help. He needs a lot of help. This sucks.
Your Honor, can I please go home? I'll leave.
All right, well.
Can I go home?
I left it up to them and I left it up to you, and then they were to behave accordingly.
I hope in jail they recognize he needs some kind of evaluation, but I'm kind of doubting it. That sucks. All right, moving on.
That time previous when the defendant was in the back of your squad car, or any time previously or afterwards, did
This is a sentencing, I believe.
you ever produce a valid driver's license, Michigan driver's license?
No.
Did he ever produce a valid Michigan registration?
No.
Okay. And if you see the person that you stopped on that day, the driver of that vehicle in the courtroom here today, could you just identify them for the record by an article of clothing that they're wearing?
Blue blazer.
Okay, I believe you said blue blazer?
Yes.
Okay, Your Honor, the people would request for the record that the defendant has been identified.
So noted.
Thank you. Questions that I haven't asked you today that
Okay. Would the defendant like to cross-examine Corporal Spadell?
For the record, I am not a person.
He's spiking the lens like he's on The Office. I bet you're wondering how I got into this situation. Jesus Christ. Mugging more than I do. Yeah, I put those on correctly. Good job, me. Got tangled in my cat ears.
Mr. Brown, do you have any questions for for Corporal?
Yes, he said the person, I am not a person, so I'm trying to figure out.
I should explain that for people who don't know. Sovereign citizens believe person means something different than like a man or a woman. They think person is the straw man legal entity. So they think when courts use the term person, they're not referring to them, the flesh and blood human being. They think they're referring to this illusory corporate straw man that they think exists, which it does not. So he's trying to differentiate himself between his legal identity straw man that he thinks exists and himself, even though there is no straw man. They're literally talking about him. He just thinks by making this sort of semantic differentiation, he can get out of this charge.
You have a question for Mr.
It never works, shockingly.
For Corporal Spadell. Corporal Spadell, I'm sorry, Corporal.
That's what the officer now.
Do you have a question for the Corporal?
No, I don't have a question.
Do you have any questions for Corporal?
He's not even going to cross-examine the witness. Oh boy, that's certainly an interesting strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for him.
I have a question for
You have a question for whom?
the court.
Okay, you don't.
That would be a motion. You have a motion for the court?
Actually get to ask the court anything, unless you have a motion that you'd like to file. The court doesn't really take up any questions at this point. We're in trial. So at this point, if you would like to cross-examine the witness, you may do so now.
No, I don't have any questions for the officer.
Okay, so the witness is free to step down.
I have Spokane Dog Man. I like that show. I own it on Blu-ray.
Do you have any witnesses? I'm sorry, any further witnesses, Mr. Geringer?
People have no further witnesses and that's the case.
Will the defendant like to call any witnesses?
Speak for myself.
You would like to take the stand as a witness?
Bravo Needs Bacon. If you like The Office and Parks and Rec, the same show creator did a show called The Good Place. I'd highly recommend it. The Good Place is incredible. Don't look anything up about it. Don't. Trust me. Just watch it at least to the end of the first season. Get into some of season 2. Trust me. Mandrake PoE says, the charge is obviously very different, but that soldier's level of confusion reminds me of my Corporal Downey from A Few Good Men. I haven't seen A Few Good Men since I was like 7 years old, so I don't remember it except for the, you can't handle the truth.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you give will be the truth and the entire truth?
Yes.
Please state and spell your name for the record.
For the record, my name is Roman Brown. Living man. You said spell it.
Please spell it. Yes.
Lowercase.
Capital R, lowercase.
I knew he was going to specify lowercase for the other letters. They think that all capital letters is the straw man.
M, lowercase n, lowercase n, capital B, lowercase r, lowercase o, lowercase w, lowercase n.
Okay. And Mr. Brown, I'm going to have you give your testimony from the podium as you are representing yourself and you are now the witness as well as the acting on your own behalf as your own attorney. So you may proceed.
Yes. So I was traveling like I'm a non-citizen national for the record. I am not a United States citizen. I am not a resident in the state. I'm from. I live in United States of America. But I was traveling. I didn't commit any crimes. The officer asked me for.
We did it. He said he didn't commit crimes. Innocent. Bravo Needs Bacon. Thank you.
His documentation. I gave him the documentations that were valid.
Beatrice says, so normal capitalization is the real person, all caps is the legal fiction, but what magic spell does it cast if you do reverse capitalization? That's when you summon your Steel Man, which is your higher self that will appear and beat up the judge. I wouldn't recommend it. It's a risky move.
The driver's license, he unlawfully detained me. I did not consent to any searches or seizures. He unlawfully violated my rights by going through my private property. He in the documents that he's brought up were like you just stated, they were not valid and they were canceled. So
he's basically just saying, no, I didn't do those things. This is a long video, so I'm going to skim through it to get his parts.
Brown.
I think this is a closing statement from the defendant.
Yes, you may.
He gave me a ticket for speeding. Clearly, on video, it just showed that he said that he put me up for.
We don't have a speeding ticket on the record for today.
He doesn't even know that it's not a speeding ticket?
For a lawful order to be submitted,
Harold Edelman says, do I dare ask what Hannah Reloaded summons? That voice. Don't do it again.
It's have to be a crime being committed.
I'm sorry, but it turns out that also summons Hannah Trump. It's very unfortunate. You messed up bigly, okay? Even though it's not a Chud Watch stream. We need to talk about my big, beautiful wall. My big, beautiful wall. The Democrats, Sleepy Joe, Kamala, they won't let me have my beautiful wall. Sorry, why do I do that so much lately?
There was no crime being committed. Like I stated before, I was traveling in my automobile, my private conveyance. I was not driving. I am not a driver or an employee like Uber or someone that's transporting goods or.
God, his audio is rough.
You may be seated.
I'm gonna go to the most watched part of the video, I think. This is after he's sentenced guilty.
In the state, or at least in the city of Detroit Police Department, as evidenced by this entire video. Again, the patience that they had to have with you and your shenanigans on that date took a lot of professionalism. And I'm glad that they handled it in that way and not in the way that we see in videos across the country, because this could have ended totally different for you, Mr. Brown. Completely different outcome had they not had the professionalism and training that they've had to deal with shenanigans, because that's exactly what this was today, as well as the day of your stop. Shenanigans. You are not allowed to operate, travel. You're not to be behind the wheel of a vehicle, whether you think it's driving or traveling. I don't care. You are not to operate a motor vehicle in this state without a driver's license. The court is now going to sentence Mr. Brown to 30 days in the Wayne County Jail for
30 days in the hole.
Each incident to run concurrently. Mr. Brown, you can take it up. You have a right to appeal.
Ma'am, can I say one thing, ma'am?
No, no, sir.
Oh no, oh, he's not gonna like this. It's bad.
No, sir. No, sir.
Why though, ma'am? Here.
We just had a whole trial about why.
Ma'am, I didn't. Please, ma'am. Can you please, ma'am. Please, ma'am. Oh my God, ma'am. I didn't do anything, ma'am. I apologize. Please, ma'am. Have compassion. I have children. My son is at the. Please, ma'am.
Can you give him a car, please? Did you consider your children when you were out playing games with the police officers, like literally playing games with your life? Did you consider your children when you were literally playing games with your life with 6 officers surrounding you and you wanted to continue to play games with them? Did you consider your kids on that day?
I was trying to reserve my rights, ma'am. I did not know that I was going to go to jail for something. I did nothing wrong, ma'am.
Each offense holds up to 93 days in the county jail.
Are there any examples of sovereigns winning court cases? Not on any sovereign citizen arguments. I've seen 1 or 2 interesting times when there was actually a procedural error with the case. For instance, I saw one where someone was stopped and it actually was slightly outside of the jurisdiction, like a block or 2 outside of the jurisdiction of the police department that pulled him over. So they actually filed it in the wrong court. They won that case, but not because of any of the sovereign citizen stuff they were doing. The judge just genuinely noticed, oh shit, this is actually outside of our jurisdiction. Which is funny. But no, they've never won on the merits of their arguments because their arguments are meritless. Like, time and time again, these have been shown to be complete pseudo-legal nonsense. None of it's based in the law. It's just bullshit. Harold Elbelman says, I'm reminded that the Darkwing Duck episode where where they one up the polarizing the character into good and bad selves by adding electricity to make a galvanized variant. Thanks for the silly voices. Of course. Silly voices are one of the only things I'm good at.
Every one of the offenses that you committed is punishable up to 93 days in the county jail. You will serve the sentence concurrently.
I can't do anything, ma'am, please. I did nothing. I apologize. I'm so sorry.
Again, you have the right to
Why
appeal.
didn't he take this more seriously during the trial? Of course, Miss Hire, it's what I'm here for.
Appeal. I don't know what to do, ma'am. I have kids. I don't know what to do. I'm sorry, officer. I apologize, sir. I didn't know. I did not know. I thought I was doing the right thing, ma'am. I thought I did not know. I did not do anything. I thought I did not know, ma'am. Please have compassion for me. I did not know. I thought that I was doing everything right. I did not know. I would never, ever would have did that. I had.
What is it that you thought you were doing right?
Thought I was doing everything. To be honest with you, ma'am, I thought I've been reading, I've been studying on a national. I did not know that I was doing anything wrong, ma'am. I apologize. Is there anything that I did not
This is hard to watch.
I really thought I was doing things right. I was being cool to others. I thought he was violating me. I didn't know that I was doing anything wrong. Like I stated before, I was not.
Did you say that you were being influenced by others?
I definitely was influenced. I thought, like I said, I've been studying and reading up and listening to stuff.
No, once you give the sentence, that's the sentence.
I don't know what type of degree you have, or if you have one as of yet, but in order for you to know the laws in this
I hope
state,
this makes him reconsider his subset stuff, because this is gonna suck for him. Like, there's no beating around the bush on it. This is gonna suck.
in order for you to be in this state, then perhaps you should go to law school so that you can study the laws of this of the land, of this state, of this country. Because what you're doing is the interference and the disturbance that you caused on that date. I can't imagine how many people needed real assistance on that date, and you interfered with officers being available. Am I talking? Are you talking while I'm talking?
No, no, ma'am.
Interfere with officers being available to respond to real concerns for our citizens in the city of Detroit? With your shenanigans?
I apologize. I did not know. I did not know.
I will amend your sentence to 30 days. That is, you have 21 days to file an appeal. Have a good day, sir.
So what I got one more question, ma'am, please. So it's not, I can't pay anything or anything, or I just have to go to jail?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No, ma'am. I had no.
You play silly games, you win silly prizes, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Wonder if he'll learn his lesson.
Can I say one more thing, please?
Please. This officer 4, be ready for me 335.
Ma'am, is there anything?
Grot says he then went to law school and became one of the best lawyers in his state.
Here, give me some underwear.
Yeah. That is nice that she amended it down to 30. I really didn't think.
Yes, ma'am, please. I have family, my kids going to school.
And then married the judge, and they had 3 beautiful children. Don't do the judge dirty like that. She can do better.
I got so much going on, man.
By myself with all these kids, like, come on now, 30 days. Like,
the judge, please, is there anything I can do? Judge, is there anything I can do? Can I talk to the judge one more time, please?
Wow, he really thinks he's going to talk his way out of that. All right, let's see what's next. It won't be a court thing, so it won't be depressing. How about that? This guy's an angry guy, so this might just be interesting. I don't know if you guys remember this gentleman, but he's the one that shouted in court, like was literally yelling at people. Anyway, here's an update on a warrant he has, I guess, or something.
All right, so we're just going to jump into this. I'm gonna give a mega download and an update on what is going on.
A mega download.
Try to make this situation clear for everybody. So the state police, Homeland Security, and Manchester PD surrounded my old apartment and came looking for me, basically raided the place. They didn't bust down any doors or anything, but they talked to the people there, asking questions where I was, etc. And the guy downstairs ends up telling me, oh, there was a FedEx package open in the lawn, and I read the stuff, and I ended up putting it through the paper shredder. And I told him he needs to contact Homeland Security and all these people to let them know that what he did with these packages. And I don't know why they're sending legal stuff through FedEx. It doesn't make any...
Okay, so he got some sort of legal paperwork from the federal government, presumably, and then didn't respond to it. Or, as he's putting it, his neighbor definitely took this package and shredded it. Benigami says, I know those 2025 training videos weren't meant for the public, but it's so eye-opening in the mindset of the MAGA cult. Part of why they think they're being proven right is they've been subtly brainwashed into hearing completely different things than the rest of us when we talk about issues, like talking about sexual awareness in sexualizing kids, for example. It's sad that MAGA people literally are speaking a different language from the rest of America and they don't know it. It is. Conspiracy theorists of all kinds end up sharing sort of a parallel language with us. It's not good. It makes communication very difficult.
Any sense. They need to use U.S. Postal Service, because leaving something on my front steps is not serving me, and that's not proof that I received it. You got to use Postal Service, return receipt requests requested, or even maybe with the FedEx if you make somebody sign for it and it has to be me signing for it with an identification. So I don't know what court dates I possibly missed, is what somebody said that they were saying while they were there, that I missed a court date. It would be for them trying to get in my phone. So ultimately, that's what's going on, is they got a warrant to get into my phone because the prosecutor had already mentioned that in a previous filing, that they shopped around for a different judge and they got a warrant to get in my phone. They are planning to hold me in custody until I open the phone, which means I'll be filing a petition for writ of habeas corpus and fighting it from the inside. Another surprise that I have for everybody is that yesterday morning I went and I filed...
Habeas corpus is like due process, and if they got a warrant, though, I don't know what you think your writ of habeas corpus is gonna do. Okay.
For governor. So I will be running for governor of New Hampshire from custody in this case. And I'm going
to be running for governor. All right. That'll go well.
Need a lot of help, and we need people that
He's got my vote.
Don't vote to actually come out and vote. And so I don't care about this
Trump strategy of trying to get elected so you can pardon yourself.
Little percentage that does come out and do this. It's time that people step up, and you know that I'm going to be like the dude that everybody wanted or thought Trump is or should be or
Oh, okay, I was making a joke, but literally he's comparing himself to Trump. All right then. All right. Do I need the clown nose again?
Was going to be when he went into the presidency, because he never followed through. He didn't do anything. I won't get into my whole campaign thing and all this stuff, the points of my campaign and what I'm going to do. I'll do that later. I'm going to jump right into calling the chief of police, Manchester PD, in order to find out what's going on with this raid and the warrant, and ultimately I'm going to try to set up a peaceful surrender.
That's fair, Dillis Filler. I don't know what the current rulings are on that. Morally, I agree with you, but I don't know what the current rulings are, if at all there are any.
Aldenberg, the chief of police, and possibly the county sheriff as well. All right, so bear with me here while we.
Kind of seems like you should just get a lawyer and not call the cops about this.
Call.
But okay.
Hello, you have reached the Manchester Police Department. 1. Transferring to
The moment.
in the desk of Diane Kingsbury. Office hours are Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m., excluding holidays. You are welcome to leave your name,
You know,
phone
was
number,
that what circuit that was out of Dillis Filler, or was that a Supreme Court decision?
and a brief message, and I will return your call as soon as possible. If your call is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. Thank you. Recording.
Hi, Diane. My name is Frank Negus Staples. I'm calling to find out. I would really like to talk to Chief Aldenberg, because Manchester Police helped Department of Homeland Security raid my former residence, and they're trying to arrest me for filming in court. Apparently that's a crime, and
it is.
And they stole my phone. It's a fairly complex situation, but you guys are obviously aware of it.
To be clear, I don't know if it's a direct crime in the sense that it was ever legislated, but generally judges and stuff have purview over what's allowed in their courtroom, and usually like the Supreme Court of specific states puts down rules, and often that includes no filming in court for the protection of like witnesses and defendants and stuff like that.
And
at least without permission. You can get media requests in a lot of states, not all of them.
Ultimately, my goal here is to, negotiate a surrender where I can meet, and I don't trust Homeland Security, okay? So I do trust...
I think that's a pretty fair opinion, actually. That's a broken clock situation, I'd say. Marcus Drake says, if I remember correctly, and this is not legal advice, I've had a drink and I'm an attorney, not your attorney. Some federal circuits have held that providing a password cannot be compelled, but physical evidence that unlocks your phone, like a thumbprint or your face, can unlock your phone. Differs state to state. Talk to local attorneys. You people know the drill. Yeah, that's interesting. Those really should be in line. That needs to get adjudicated at some point. Hopefully not with this current Supreme Court, because holy shit. But yeah, having different standards for that in different circuits seems like a shit show. That probably needs to be dealt with at some point.
The chief. And if you could call me back, that would be phenomenal. 603-722-5408. Thank you so much.
Tell us about your campaign for governor.
All right. So I'm going to call Hillsborough County Sheriff.
If you need further assistance, you may press 0 or stay on the line.
He's drinking from a mason jar in his car? Classy shit.
Sure what button to press there on the selection. I am trying to find out, I'm really trying to talk to the sheriff, Connolly, if possible. And
okay.
This is about a raid that was effectuated on my former house here in Manchester, where apartment, whatever, wherever I was living. And it was done with state police, Manchester PD, and Homeland Security. And they came there to arrest me. I'm not sure if the sheriff's office was involved, but I would like to find out. And the reason why I want to talk to the sheriff is because there is a question about jurisdiction, federal jurisdiction here in the state of New Hampshire. And I know that the sheriff's duties is to enforce the laws in the Constitution of New Hampshire. And so there is an RSA 123.1, which is how the federal government acquires property from the state of New Hampshire. This law has been on the books since 1883.
New Hampshire sovereigns are particularly obnoxious, but you gotta live free or die or whatever bullshit.
And I have a document from the Secretary of State that's sealed. It's from about a month ago, and the federal government has never complied with our offer of cession under 123.1. And long story short, I was found guilty for recording in the lobby of the federal courthouse. I'm not sure if you're aware of this situation, but
you said it was the courtroom earlier.
During my trial, I may or may not have started.
Am I ever going to write a book about covering sovereigns and the origins in different tribes? I do not know how to write. I'm a talker, not a writer. I can't place a comma to save my life, much less a semicolon. You could put a gun to my head and say, properly place this semicolon in a sentence, and I would tell you pull the trigger till it clicks.
Recording during the trial. And a witness in the case, a Homeland Security officer who had just finished testifying, came over and ripped the phone out of my hand. They kicked me out of the courtroom. I was kicked out of the courtroom before the case ended. This is just a petty offense, mind you. It's a $100 fine. And so they kicked me out of the courtroom, and I said, I want my phone. And they said, we'll give it to you outside. I got outside, and the Homeland Security guy, I ran to my car, I got a recording device, and I came back. He comes outside, he says, we're confiscating your phone. We're keeping your phone.
Kagami says, is that, if that got litigated in this Supreme Court, there's a fair chance that the ruling would be check their political affiliation. If they're liberal or queer, force the phone open. If MAGA or evangelical, double privacy protection. If a cop or rich person can't even get a warrant. Sadly, probably more accurate than I'd like to admit.
This other DHS guy, I said, I want some sort of receipt or documents or something. They said, you can get it from the clerk. The judge confiscated your phone. Well, I've talked to the clerk multiple times, and there was no confiscation of my phone. In another court filing, this is the federal court in Concord.
Okay.
Okay. And
I just want to hear what he's going to do as governor.
That's what is it? Newington versus Campanella. Leaving the trial.
Calling the New Hampshire Department of Safety. If this is an emergency.
Hi, I just called and I was transferred to the duty attorney or something, and appreciate it.
Who you need to speak to, and I will have somebody will get back to you.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, he's running for governor.
Not gonna have that. You are gonna have that fucking conversation, yo. This is the problem, right? Oh no, cops don't shoot people to death for no reason. Give me a fucking break.
H. Baird with 40 bits says, if he becomes governor, he should appoint Marcel to the court. Then he'll be a judge and New Hampshire will be fucked.
You left a message on our machine at headquarters?
Yes.
Asking about something that was going on in Manchester?
Correct.
So we're not involved in anything that I'm aware of, so I'm not exactly sure just what you're referring to.
So this was like 2 months ago?
Oh, okay.
So they just want to keep it at the state level, Dillis Filler, you think? Or they just not want to fucking deal with it?
And it was with state police. It
feels really gross to me that there's different standards across different circuits. That's the kind of thing that it feels like it needs to be standardized. You're effectively having people have different rights in different states, and I know we have issues with that on other things too. For instance, abortion, but like, that always makes me uncomfortable.
That's what I was told. It was state police, Manchester police, and Homeland Security. Not sure if the sheriffs were there. I did talk to the sheriff's department about this.
Yeah.
And so,
I guess, so what's the, I mean, so you haven't lived there in a while, or?
No, I moved out in January, beginning of January. Yeah.
And this happened since then?
This happened since then. So I had a trial on April 9th in the federal court for a petty offense for recording.
I feel like he's not going to tell us his governor, like, This is what he wants to do as governor at
How about
all.
this? How about I'll make a couple phone calls to HSI and see if
the witness in the case.
It's possible that that's what happened, and we.
Okay. Fuck it. I'm done with this guy. I want to see another time if I can find his specific stuff on wanting to be governor. He did a campaign event that he filmed that seems pretty funny, but we spent too much time on him already today. So let's move on. Might be a little funny. It's the quantum grammar guy. Hydrate. Can do. Before we get into this, though, I do need to use the bathroom. He did a campaign event. It was only with like 5 people. Yeah, if you're on YouTube, please like the stream. Also, if you want to help support the stream, gift subs, subscriptions, bits, tips, memberships, all these things help. While I use the bathroom, Chair will tell you about this double feature of Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost and Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. Not quite as good as Zombie Island, but pretty good follow-ups. I'll be right back. I've returned. Oh, it fell. At least it didn't fall on the ground. It just fell on the desk. That's good. I don't want the Hex girls to be harmed in any way. Alright. The Empire of the Three City-States. So London is greed, Washington, D.C. is power. And the Vatican is control. Okay, that feels similar to power, but whatever. Cyber Chase is good. I like Cyber Chase too. Outside of Zombie Island, Cyber Chase is probably my second favorite.
1999, the United States was quietly being taken over by Great Britain.
Incorrect.
A vigilant patriot named Russell J. Gould recognized...
Ooh, he made a good choice getting rid of the goatee. That is a bad look on him. Why does it go so far down his face? Oh, no.
...the threat, and in a series of strategic moves, he saved us from foreign invasion. He took control of the Title IV U.S. flag and logged it in with the United Nations, becoming sovereign successor to Great Britain. When the political dust settled, Mr. Gould had taken over several high-ranking government positions.
Let's see, this says, :global-command, director, federal-postal-judge, joint-chief-federal-postal-judge, postal-inspector, postmaster-bank-banker, Vatican-city-key, master, world central bank owner, prize master, prize commissioner, comptroller of the global foreign postal currency, postmaster general, pentagon paymaster general, muster master general, muster master tilde navy commander, ampersand chief Russell J Gould period. Everybody got that?
And that put the country's true terrorists on notice. He introduced a language called now-time quantum grammar. Then he used it to prove all previous legal and financial documents to be fraudulent. This saved the U.S. trillions of dollars in debt. He redesigned the periodic table of elements. His work was referred to as extraterrestrial technology. And
he redid the periodic table? How? It's already organized by periodicity. What do you mean he reorganized the periodic table? Like he fucked it up? Like he scrambled it up? It's organized by periodicity already. What do you mean? Kipo, thanks for following. Gitaro with 50 bits says he may have had all those titles, but I noticed he isn't the main man. Praise Paul.
Genius. As a reward for his efforts, he was arrested and tortured by the government that he saved.
I'm sorry. Hold a goddamn minute. What was that shit? Oh. Okay. The man of many faces. Alright.
In 1996, 1997, 1998,
This is one of the sovereign citizen grifters, if it isn't already obvious. He claims to have developed a secret language called quantum grammar. In reality, he inherited this grift from another guy, what was his name? This is Russell J. Gould. He inherited this grift from, someone will give me the name in chat. I'm blanking on it right now. David-Win Miller. Thank you. So that's a grift that he started decades ago, and then this guy kind of became his protege. He died, and now he's the big guy in this quantum grammar sovsit grift.
Was living with my grandmother in Arapahoe, Wyoming, on the Wind River Indian Reservation, with the Eastern Shoshone tribe and the Northern Arapaho tribe. I was geographically, literally in between two tribes where we were staying. And I ran into some situations where I got in some legal difficulties dealing with traffic citation courts.
According to Stefan's
Oh my
question
god, it's young baby Russell J. Gould.
about the stamps and the importance of stamps.
Yeah.
My uncle, this was 3 years ago, we were in a state district court. Well, he was involved in an action where his grandpa, he owns an excavating company.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandpa, who was 84, was in the backhoe driving on the shoulder. And my uncle was behind him in his dump truck. And a guy come around the corner and come in and hit my grandpa and knocked him into another car. Well, this action started back in, I think, 90 or 89 or 90. And my uncle, has a little bit of money, so the attorneys see,
It's kind of interesting seeing him doing this pitch younger, because even though his grift is, not good, you can tell it has developed over time. His presentation has cleaned up over the last decade or so. Kind of interesting seeing the same grift at the beginning and the modern version of it.
Easy prey. Got him. So they start out in a city court. And my uncle, like a good person, goes and hires an attorney. Of course, he gets found not guilty. The trial lasts about 6-7 months. Gets found not guilty, fees go up. Well, the prosecution comes back in and files in a county court saying, oh, that can't be right, that can't be right. Come on, attorney, let's try this out again. So he sues my uncle again, same charge, because nothing was processed. So the same scenario goes around for about four times. And then back in, I believe it was 98. God, it's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Back in 98, I'm like, no, enough is enough. I said, I'm coming down there. Fire that piece of crap. I'm coming to court.
Sir, you're not a lawyer.
And we file in a charter vessel contract. And we file it, you know, coming in as the witness to safeguard the court. So we get there, and we do this about 48 hours before he has
People pay him for this information, by the way.
to be into this. And we're in a state district court. It was 13th District Court, Colorado, Chaffee County, Wyoming, Colorado.
I should say they pay him for this misinformation.
I stroll in there, and I wheel in my 85-year-old grandpa. By this time, he's already, 85 years old, up there in age. And I'm feeling pretty sorry for my uncle. My mom, this is the first time my mom's very concerned about her boy, of course.
Yeah.
And we stroll on into court, and my mom is very nervous. And I'm like, no, this is incorrect. This is not right. We got some procedural questions here. So we address stamps. We address bills of lading, unprocessed, through the years, through stacks and stacks. So we stroll on into court.
Being a lawyer is relevant to this in the sense that you can be your own attorney, but you cannot be someone else's attorney without a law degree. That's illegal. That's the unlicensed practice of law, which is a crime.
Bar, of course, capture the judge right out the chute. Title IV flag. He goes, oh, good. Just looks at the paperwork, and we're Title IV flag, unity-states, go through the scenario in the noun with our noun names and start addressing the procedure. And
I'm going to skip to modern him. Because old him sucks.
We're doing about you're going to have a lot of success. And I was studying about grammar with a gentleman who ended up being a big influence on my life and ended up being my corporate partner until his health concerns, and that was David-Wynne Miller.
And my name is...
This is the guy that actually developed this grift. He's incredible. We watched a 9-hour seminar by him once in which he claimed he died for 30 minutes and came back to life. I think he claimed they removed multiple organs from his body, but he, continued to live. He claimed he didn't sleep for, 20 years, I think. Just an incredible, incredible grift. I talked about it in that, but when he died, one of the last old school con men died. He was the kind of con man that really could have only existed and started before the internet, because his claims were so outlandish, and so weird, and so easily debunkable. Anyone with a smartphone would be able to look it up immediately and be like, what are you talking about? He was the kind of guy that would go from town to town and basically grift people. Genuinely incredible stuff. Morally reprehensible, but strictly from, recognizing, a weird grift art form almost. It's kind of incredible to see. It's like seeing The Last Buffalo or something, It's like, ooh, this is the end of an era, I know buffaloes are still around. It's an example. Dodo. It's like watching someone shoot the last dodo bird, That's probably a better example.
Judge, David-Wynne, Miller. I punctuate my name with a : because it creates a prepositional phrase. I use a hyphen to make my David Wynne a compound fact. And then I follow that with a
yes, my favorite part of speech. Facts. :
to identify my surname.
That and adjectives are my favorite. Adjectives and facts.
Miller. So it's for the David Wynne of the Miller family, because colons are prepositional phrases to express a fact.
And through our studies and through what we had found through trial and error, mainly by myself in the court systems, we came upon a guise, a ruse that we found to create every citizen on planet Earth and make them a utility and a slave to contract. What I'm going to give closure on today will be the mechanics of how they use those contracts to keep mankind, regardless of race, regardless of faith, regardless of status quo,
Freyline says, pronouns are my favorite. Fucking pronouns. Okay, we've heard his spiel. That was kind of funny, but I am gonna move on. Oh no, that one guy's wife got out of jail.
Wow.
We just have to, man, we have to stand up for the prisoner. Let me tell you, they are just ripe for slaughter. It's horrible in those conditions. We have to work hard for that. There has to be change. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, wait, keep going.
Oh, I told her to, just to stick her pretty face in here with me and let everybody see her for a minute. So
Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you for everything you've gone through for all of us. And, you know, just everything you do for all of us. We're all so eternally grateful. We're so blessed and so more than blessed. We're so more to have you and so thankful and grateful for all you've done from your father, to you, to
The guy on the right that they're talking about, David Straight, is another one of these sovereign citizen guru grifters who has people paid to come hear him speak. I don't know if it's wife, I want to say wife, got put in jail a while back for some illegal shit she did and was considering herself a political prisoner. She wasn't. And I guess now she's out.
to everyone. We love you so much, Bonnie. We love you so
I love
much.
you guys too, but you know, I see how much more we need to do, because there is an underground prison culture of destroying lives, innocent people. I was there for over a year. There's a woman sitting in there 24 years, never guilty of any crime, suffering the.
I find that a little difficult to believe. She's never been on trial in 24 years? All right.
it's okay. It's okay. Surprise, surprise. I hate.
H-Beard with 40-bit says, I wish I were dishonest enough to be a grifter. Actually trying to be correct is so tiring. Getting paid to just tell people what they want to hear sounds so much easier. It does, doesn't it?
Politics, because I don't like the Republican Party and I don't like the Democrat Party. And
Either
that's
one.
going to shock a lot of people, but the Republican Party is the opposite side of the coin. It's the same coin. And I think they fight over which issues that they're going to present for the year. And, you know, when I get a survey from the Republican Party and I look at all the questions, and not one of them is what truly matters. Not one of their issues matters to me whatsoever. Neither does, you know, but they're big for the people because they made it big for the people. The true problem in America is the Bar Association. It is our judicial system, and it is bringing that system of trafficking in persons down. That's the biggest issue in America
By trafficking, he means arresting people and putting them in jail.
today. It is how they get paid, and how they get paid is the crime of the century. And how they use the American people as surety for the bonds and the bond system. That's
not. Prisons existed before 100 years ago, right? They just had crime of the century, like jails or prisons are new.
Not going to end as long as it's foreign run and it's controlled by the bar. And even
they think the Bar Association is secretly a UK thing. It isn't.
Our vice president, which I've got to know him lately, had a few conversations, and even our vice president, which I've got to know him lately, had a few conversations, and
I'm sorry, he said he spoke to the vice president? Oh, of his organization, probably, right? He's not claiming he talked to... I don't know if this clip was from the Trump era and he's talking about Pence. I'm hoping he's just talking about a vice president from his organization and he's not claiming to have spoken to a vice president of the United States.
You know, he's everything that I fought against for 35 years. And yet I think he might, with all hope and prayer, be the one to bring down the organizations he's been a part of.
What?
Now, whether that happens or not, I don't know. I really don't. But that's what they're presenting to me. And I believe maybe there's something they're holding over their head, and maybe I know what that is. But on the other hand, it's selling a lot of the American people on something that they shouldn't be believing in.
Let's see what's next. Okay, this is a little bit of a cheat. I don't necessarily think these guys are sovereign citizens, but they are assholes, and they're Floridians, so that's kind of like a sovereign citizen. This is what we're going to end on today, I think. This will be the last video. Again, it's a little bit of a cheat, but it was weird, so we're going to check it out. Is Betty Buttcrack still around? She is. She's just not doing anything interesting. Nothing that we haven't already seen.
On January 27, 2023, an officer attempted to conduct a traffic stop for driving a golf cart on a public roadway.
Which happens in some places in Florida, in particular the Villages, where it is legal on certain roads.
Not on Community. I've followed you since Community. Okay. Do you have your license registration? I don't have to give you anything on my yes, you do.
He thinks because he is now on his own property, the traffic stop is null and void. Like, he thinks that, like, oh, I'm at the base, I'm touching the base is safe, no tag backs, no tags, I'm safe. That's not how it works. You can't just run home and assume that it's like a GTA and you lose all your stars. Yeah, we can raid VC Archives if she's still streaming.
Get off my property. Yes, you do. You committed a traffic infraction.
Okay, good. Send me a ticket.
I need your license, registration, and proof of insurance.
I have not committed a crime, and I'm not going to...
You committed a traffic offense. Yes, you did.
I did not, sir.
Yes, you did.
He's wearing Crocs, too, which I think is the real crime here.
I did not, sir.
Okay, are you going to turn this into something criminal?
That's up to you. I'm at my house. If you saw me out there, then you got to pull me over out there.
That's not how that works. That's not how that works.
Please remove your vehicle from my yard.
Where did he get that idea? I don't even understand why he thinks that. Where could he have possibly have gotten that idea in his head?
Traffic infraction happened on the roadway. I need your license.
And he clearly believes it too, because he doesn't give a fuck. He's just walking into the house.
I need your license.
Do not enter my property, sir.
I'm not on. I need your license.
Thank you so much.
I need his license.
Melly?
I don't know, sir.
Okay, I need his license, or he's at risk of interfering with a law enforcement investigation. Does he want to get arrested for...
What investigation, sir?
Call the supervisor.
Okay, I will.
I don't know what investigation.
And please move your vehicle out of
Call Sergeant Garcia.
vehicle by call.
Hey, do you want to come 51 out to me? Now I'm inside the gated community, but he was driving on the public roadway. He's refusing to give me his license.
Okay, you're refusing.
All right, you're heading out here?
Okay,
all right, bye.
Here we go. Officer, I'm going to ask you again. You're in my driveway. Please move from
You committed a traffic infraction on the public roadway.
Like, he's filming it like he thinks he's in the right here. What in the world? Like, how... I don't understand this level of, like, privilege and delusion. How Can you think this is going to go well for you?
I'm respectfully asking you again, sir, if you please remove, I am not giving you my driver's license, sir.
1164, and if there's another
Please move from you are blocking my driveway. Am I being detained?
Yes, I need your I need your identity to identify you.
I need a supervisor.
You are not allowed to do that.
Okay, you can think that.
I know how the police are working.
Okay.
Very well.
Okay.
Can you come inside? Let him in. Yes, and our property is all back inside. Thank you.
No, he's gonna bring a supervisor. I'm not running from anybody. He'll bring a supervisor. Okay. I'm legally permitted to drive in this neighborhood.
Not on public roadways.
This is not public, sir.
You were on the public roadway.
Okay, do you have proof of that?
Yes, I do.
May I see it?
It's on the body camera.
Perfect. Okay.
I can give it to you after you give me your driver's
I'm
license.
not giving you my driver's license.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically within certain communities in Florida, like the Villages, I don't think this is the Villages, because he's not old enough to live in the Villages. Like a retirement planned community, basically, down there. But you can't, like, drive on all the roads with them. They have to be very specific roads, that are, again, generally, like, privately owned. The Villages, the roads that you drive them on are privately owned by the Villages, which is, like, a planned community thing. You can't just go out, like, on normal roads with them.
That's what I want to know, if he says that was on the road.
There are other cars on the road.
Oh.
And so forth.
You don't stop at the right moment. It's not counted.
That's not how that works. A traffic stop can be initiated anywhere a violation.
That moment, that is when you do that when he come back in here in the house. That is when you don't do that in the right moment, where you have to do it.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
Well, you don't do it. So
That is not how that works.
it's
Is
work
this
like
allowed?
that
Are you allowed to block my yard?
Yes.
Okay, you are?
I'm trying to initiate a traffic stop on you
On private property you tried to do it.
because of a violation that occurred on a public roadway.
You are not allowed to enter private property to come after me. You can't do it. So that's why I asked for a supervisor. I'm not.
There's a supervisor coming.
Personal, man.
Okay.
Nothing personal.
Hey, there's a supervisor coming, and you could explain this all to him then.
at the moment and the opportunity for do that, you don't do it. So that does mean you don't do it right, your job.
That is not how that
It
works.
is like that. It is.
Okay.
It is.
Okay.
You know that.
You're on my property, Doug.
I am.
I'm not giving you permission to enter my property.
I'm not.
You're on my property.
I'm not on your. I'm not in your house.
Blocking my property.
This is HOA property. This community is HOA property.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
The whole driveway is mine.
HOA property.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's mine.
Okay. This is HOA property.
Okay, so you're saying that this is not my property, right?
It's like a what?
This right here is HOA property. Where you committed a traffic offense is public roadway.
This part is in this property. This is our property.
Okay. If you guys want to turn this into something more.
HOA is Homeowners Association.
Look at that.
Turn it into anything.
Okay.
Nobody.
It is a cop.
Okay.
You have
The person talking that we are on the chest of is a cop, yes.
to do the right thing.
Okay.
That moment. You don't do it?
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
You lose that.
I know. You saw everything from inside the house, right?
Sir, I am not afraid. I am not afraid for you. I'm here. And I'm telling you that if you don't do the things when you have to do that in the moment that you have to do, why you don't stop him in that part?
Oh, you studied criminal justice?
Green guy with a $3 tip says, I killed a man. You didn't arrest me at that second, so I didn't do it.
Huh?
You're a police officer?
Well, that is not your business. If I know, if I not, that is not your business.
Okay.
Okay? But that is that I'm telling you.
Okay. I mean, you're trying to tell me how my job works now.
$669 towards our goal. Nice.
You do that.
Okay.
You do that.
I don't know what you're saying.
No, you know what I'm saying.
No, I don't.
You know what I'm saying.
No, because
You are
a
not
traffic infraction,
Uh-huh.
you can make a traffic stop.
All the time, but you don't do that in the right moment, in the right second. You don't do that in that minute.
Okay.
Why you have
can,
to wait?
I'm not here to change your mind.
No, it's you don't wait. You wait for to come here.
I am not here to change your mind.
You have to
I'm
do
not
that
here
in
to
that
change
part.
your mind.
No, I know.
That's
you weren't driving the
questionable,
golf
Mr.
cart, so I don't know
I'm
why
not
I'm
comfy
talking
with
to
that. I'm getting rid of that.
Because you are the law enforcement, and you have to respect for me because you are the law. Right or wrong?
And I'm trying to enforce the law, and you're impeding my investigation.
I am not, what investigation, sir?
The
you
traffic-
Don't have any part. You don't have any paper. Your supervisor is not here.
Do I need
You
to
don't
pull
do
up?
the report.
Okay, if I pull up a printed sheet of what law he
You don't
broke.
do that.
No, if you show me breaking the law?
I absolutely will.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
No, but do that.
And then I'll
You don't stop the vehicle.
I'm not trying to
You
give you a
don't
hard
stop the
time.
vehicle. You don't stop, and you don't ask for his driver license. You don't do the things that a police officer have to do.
I asked for his driver's license. You were inside.
When I'm on private property. You can't ask.
That's not how that works.
To give you that.
No,
I haven't-
Just because you come to your house doesn't mean it's safe zone.
I didn't say anything about safe zone. I'm in private property, sir.
Okay.
I am on private
Okay, you can have this argument with the sergeant.
Okay.
With the judge and everybody.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so that's fine. So we'll take it to court.
How you doing, boss? Good.
I pull up here with my son, and all I'm trying to do is go inside the house, and he pulls up in my driveway. I asked him to leave. He said, I want to see your driver's license. I said, for what? He said, for driving the golf cart. He said it was on a public road. I said, well, number one, we're on private property. This is private property. I'm more than okay to drive my golf cart on here. It's insured. And he wants my driver's license. I said, okay, well, then show me what I did wrong. He said, I was following you from somewhere, but there was cars. I said, well, I'm not giving you my license for that. I mean, I'm not hiding.
He said you were on public roadways, which you weren't allowed to drive the golf cart on.
This is my house. You can find out who I am, but...
H-Baird said, I wonder if you could drive a golf cart here. The link...
This is a map of Yellowstone National...
Oh, I can't play this because it's Vox and they'll copyright me. But that is interesting. The whole, like, the jurisdictional... I've heard about this before. Like, if you committed a crime in this jurisdiction, it's unclear who it would be under.
I'm not giving him my license.
There's only one way to solve it. Someone has to commit a murder there. Force the hand of the courts.
For some, if he's saying I was doing something, then he's got to pull me over, and he's got to do whatever he's going to do at the time that he thinks that I'm apparently breaking the law.
So yeah, inside the HOA communities, you're allowed to, but anywhere it's like city-owned roads, like Village Parkway, Community Boulevard, Gatlin Cross, anything else that's not inside of like a community area.
I understand
and
that.
Then,
you can insure a golf cart, you can insure anything you want. You just need an insurance company to write you a policy up. Yeah.
I understand that. Yeah. I mean, to pull me over right here in my house, and he wants to put the lights on and make a big commotion, blocking my driveway.
Yeah, he has the supervisor on the way. Also.
Okay.
So,
I do what the supervisor.
No. I have a trainee. You're close by.
Now he's blocking my neighbor's driveway.
Oh, yes, you do have to. In here. You can put it in here.
Normally, we're stopping the golf carts because it's a lot of people calling them City Hall. One, it can't be on the roadways.
I am agree with you, but do it in the moment that you have to do it. You don't have to wait. You don't have to do this. We respect the law enforcement.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
the thing when you
Absolutely.
have to do that, if you told me if I am broken the law outside, you have to pull me over and right away in that moment.
That's like
what is she talking about?
telling me, okay, I mean, somebody pull up to your house, say, oh, you broke the speed limit on the highway. Well, we're at my house. What are you talking about? You know, I mean, come on.
I get you. Yeah.
Oh, that laugh is obnoxious given the circumstance. It's so condescending.
Hi. So I'm his supervisor. So I'm gonna make one request.
Okay.
Okay. Pulling into your driveway doesn't negate the stop. I'm going to give you the option right now because what's going to happen if you don't provide the identification, we're going to have to arrest you. We don't want to arrest you.
Under arrest?
Yes.
Okay.
So
For
would you
what law?
prefer to present the identification or not?
Sorry, I have a question. No. I have a question.
Oh, don't put your hands on him. Don't put your hands on him. Oh, you can't put your hands on him. Oh, that's like... That's up there with never go in with a Sicilian when death is on the line and not invading Russia in the winter. You don't do it. Don't put your hands on a cop, even if it's just like barely. No. Oh. You've fallen for one of the classic blunders.
I'm not fighting.
Inconceivable.
I'm not fighting you. I'm not fighting.
You're not fighting.
Stop. Move away.
Don't say anything without your lawyer, and they don't have any
So you're
solution to do
so
that.
if I give you
You're right. It's land war in Asia.
my driver's license, so if I give you my license, you will permit me. You will have a conversation with me. I'm asking you about the law.
You're under arrest.
The kids is that doing?
Resist, okay?
I am not recessed, but the kids that in there. The kids down in there, please.
I didn't tell you no. I said I was going to ask you a question.
Toreador says, never bet against a cop when death is involved. Oh, that's sad. Benikagami says, the cops would just shoot you to resolve the issue of jurisdiction these days. It's not like anyone would hold them accountable regardless of jurisdiction.
You did tell this officer no, though, right?
I said I want to understand what the law is. That's all I asked.
Okay.
Please. Tell him that you're 14 years old and he's 6 years old.
Okay.
Don't leave it alone.
Okay. That's it. Let us 1 second at a time.
But you don't have
Melly,
to do it in
Melly,
person.
Melly,
They
my
arrested
kids
him.
are inside. Let her, please.
No, they
She'll
say
be
that.
quiet. She'll be quiet. Please, let my kids are inside. I have a 6-year-old daughter in there, sir. You
Okay.
can't. Please let
We're
her.
gonna have to find somebody else.
Okay, let her go. She didn't do anything.
Absolutely not. Put her in the car, please. In the car.
Okay, can I tell my
And don't fuck with Florida cops especially. Florida cops don't give a shit.
son? Wait a minute. I have minors in here. Can I tell my son? I'm not fighting. I'm not fighting.
Let's go to the car, sir. Go to the car now. Please.
Believe it. You cannot leave my kids alone.
We're right here.
Sir,
Why are you doing this?
I'm doing this. Please walk to the car.
I just said to you, if I said I wanted to make sure that I'm legally required to give you my ID.
Yes, you are legally required.
Okay, but if you would have told me that,
I tried to explain that.
He
to you.
did tell you.
Sir, no. I was asking for a supervisor.
The car.
Please, man.
You would have literally gotten a warning.
And I was trying to do that and give you. You see
I
my
don't
license is right
understand.
here.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Why didn't you just
I got
show
a
it to me?
6-year-old in there.
Sir,
Come on.
I'm not wanting to do any of this.
Give my kid a ride to school, please. Come on, man. Don't do that.
Sir, there's nothing that I'm
Respectfully
doing.
asking you.
Please turn around.
Do you have anything on? Come on. Do you have anything on you that's going to poke me, stick me?
I asked for a supervisor. That's all I asked, sir.
Sir.
Please. Man to man, if you have kids, please don't do this. My
Sir.
kids are inside.
Listen, all you had to do was present your ID.
It's right there.
As
right
simple,
there in the
as
front
simple
pocket.
as
But I
it
told
was.
you that, sir.
I don't understand what the point of refusing it was.
It wasn't. No. But what I'm trying to tell you is I wasn't trying to refuse it from you, sir. I was asking you if I'm legally required. That's all I was asking.
He asked you, right?
No. Well, he asked me, but he also was blocking my property. And I didn't understand what that was. That's why I requested respectfully. I told him respectfully, may I please speak to a supervisor?
Griffin Doggo says, imagine growing up and finding your parents' arrest body cam. I had to pick my mom up from a drunk driving arrest from jail, so...
That's all I said.
Ay, Dios.
There's no going back. Okay.
All right. Where are my kids?
Is there? So here's my next question: Is
Okay.
there a relative, a
Yes.
neighbor that you would?
Can you call her?
Absolutely.
Okay. Can you just let her go? Man?
We can't,
She's just
sir.
being a
If
pain.
she's in
She's
handcuffs-
just being a pain. That's all.
Sir,
Okay. Can
but
you
she
do me
can't-
that favor?
she
I'll go.
Can't put her hands on
Oh, it's
officers.
okay. I wouldn't have brought it up if it bothered me, like, viscerally. It sucks. But there's a reason I'm no contact with my parents.
She wasn't trying to put her hands to hurt anybody. Come on. Sir.
No, I'm not, I never said she was.
All right,
but,
just
but
let
she
her-
can't.
And I
Okay.
respect that,
So
sir.
let's
And I
work on-
apologize to you, man. Can you please let her stay with my kid?
No, sir.
Please, sir.
Who am I calling for your?
703.
And who is that?
That's their mother.
Okay.
She's right down the street.
what's
Can you
the-
call her? And why is this guy walking?
I couldn't tell.
Well, yeah, I got pulled over for driving a golf cart.
What's the name of the mother?
I'm getting arrested, and I
put him out.
he's throwing me in the, yeah, my kids are in the, for driving the golf cart. Okay, get your extra and push me in like you want to. Go ahead.
I think she still can't drive, too, because that was like her second or third DUI. She's had multiple DUIs.
Do that. Come on, man. I got kids. Why you got to do that?
You just bring up the kids thing.
Just like
You're the one that was doing this shit.
I was respectful to you, too. Didn't I tell you nicely? Can you make sure? Please don't leave until my kids are here.
We are not
Wait,
going to go
you
anywhere.
cannot leave until my...
We are not going anywhere yet.
Where is my phone? You took my phone out of my pocket.
Yes, I have that.
Me too, Dillis Filler, me too.
Where is it?
It'll be going with you to the St. Lucie County Jail.
I need to see it.
It will be going with you to St. Lucie County Jail.
Okay. Hope you feel good, man. Doing that to somebody with kids. I wasn't rude to you.
I don't
Fuck
like
off,
doing it.
yes you were! What are you talking about?
All I needed was your ID, man.
But I wanted to know if I'm legally required to give it to you. And that's
Yes.
why
You are legally required.
Sheesh. Alright, so thanks everyone for hanging out. Much appreciated. Thanks for being here for another Sovereign Citizen Day. Much appreciated. we're gonna go ahead and raid VC Archives. But I'll be back tomorrow. So make sure you come back tomorrow and hang out. I'm not sure exactly what we'll be doing yet. Tomorrow's actually 50-50 on whether or not I'll stream. We're gonna see how I'm feeling. But I definitely will be Friday and Sunday. Sunday, we're going to be doing another patron-only live stream, so if you want to join the Patreon to be a part of that, patreon.com/HannahReloaded. You'll also gain access to all the previous VODs of the live streams. So yeah, a good time. All right, good night, everyone. Love you, Mr. Blast. The rest of you, I will see soon. Court is adjourned or whatever. That's what they do, right? Bring in the dancing lobsters. Amanda Bynes, remember how her life was ruined by being a part of Nickelodeon? Anyway, bye!